Hello everyone and welcome into Hayden Park. I'm Chris Vinel. We're here for a little afternoon baseball as the Miami RedHawks take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. Miami coming in with a record of 31-11, 12-5 in the MAC. Contrarily, the Huskies sitting at 13-29, 9-8 in the MAC. This is the rubber match of the series. Miami taking a 12-0 victory on Friday night. Northern Illinois responding with a 6-3 victory in yesterday's ballgame. On the mound today, we have Jack Corbell, the senior for Miami. He'll go against Ryan Anderson, the junior, but Corbell is out there on the mound throwing his warm-up tosses here to start the top of the first inning. Corbell, 4-1 on the year. This will be his 11th start, 11th appearance, all of them starts. 318 earned run average in 51 innings, 21 walks, 37 strikeouts, so good ratio there. From Northern Illinois, we'll see Tommy Shasney, the third baseman, leading off. Brendan Joyce, the left fielder, he'll bat second. Jake Dunham is behind the plate. He'll bat third. The cleanup hitter, Nick Drobasevich, is the designated hitter today, replacing Cam Smith. Cam Smith will take Drobasevich's spot in right field. He's batting fifth. Jordan Larson at first base. Josh Mutter in center, batting seventh. Alex Rodriguez at second base. And Patty McCormick will round out the lineup. He's at short today. Shasney will lead things off. Cal Elvers behind the plate for Miami. Charlie Harrigan at first base. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's in there for a called strike. Fastball at 88 miles an hour, right on the outside corner from Corbell. At second base, we see Landon Stevens. Shortstop, Colin Shepard. As Shasney grounds this one towards Harrigan at first base, he'll step on the bag and take care of it for out number one. So a quick first out there for Corbell. Third base, we've got Jordan Stevens. Right field, McKay Williams. Center field, Parker Massman. And Kyle Winkler is the left fielder. Same defensive alignment we've seen in the outfield all three games for Miami. A little bit of change in the infield as Will Vogelsang injured himself late in the ballgame yesterday. He's the typical shortstop. Colin Shepard came on to replace. He's in there today. As Corbell now faces Brendan Joyce, the left fielder. The first pitch to him is a little bit low, 88-mile-an-hour fastball beneath the knees. Joyce, a .293 hitter on the year, 2 home runs, 18 knocked in. As Corbell delivers, that's a strike. Evens the count at 1-1 with the 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Corbell, a very unorthodox pitching style. As he delivers the 1-1. Joyce swings right through that one over the top of a breaking ball, 75 miles an hour. That's the first breaking ball we've seen from Corbell. His windup's very herky-jerky, with his first step off the mound being very quick. 1-2 is off the plate away. He came with the heat that time, 92 miles an hour on the gun. However, he's off the outside corner, 2-2 the count now. Corbell working quickly. Here's the 2-2. This one's on the ground to Stevens at third base, but it'll run foul. Stevens will pick that two-hopper up and throw it back into Corbell. We've seen admirable starts by both the Red Hawk pitchers in this series so far. Sam Bachman on Friday went 6 scoreless. Spencer Mraz yesterday gave up 4 in the first 2 innings before settling down and completing 4. Shane Smith came on to relieve him and finished out the ballgame. 5 innings of no earned run baseball. He did give up 2, but they were the result of some sloppy Red Hawk defense. With the count full now to Joyce. Corbell will ready for the payoff pitch. Here it comes. This one's in the air towards the second base bag. Landon Stevens will range over and take care of the little can of corn pop fly. That's out number 2. That'll bring up Jake Dunham, the catcher. He's a junior hitting .292 on the year. 4 home runs, 31 knocked in. That 4 home run mark leads the Huskies at the moment. Nobody in the Husky order today has more than 2. There's several players tied at that number. Dunham, the right-handed hitter, will step into the box. Huskies going with their third different uniform look in 3 games, as the first pitch to Dunham is right down the chute for strike 1. They're wearing their white pants today, red tops. Miami going with their retro cream-colored uniforms that they typically wear on Sunday afternoons. Second pitch to Dunham is grounded up the middle. Shepard will field it behind the second base bag, and he'll throw on Harrigan for the third and final out. So a quick 3 outs there for Jack Corbell. Easy work for him, and that'll end the inning. No runners on base, nobody scored. Good first inning for Jack Corbell. We'll see Ryan Anderson, the junior for Northern Illinois, on the mound. He comes in with a 4.85 earned run average. This will be his 13th appearance, but only 6th start. He's 1-2 on the year. In 29 innings, he's given up 41 hits and 26 runs. Only 16 of those earned, though. And his strikeout to walk ratio is 19-11. We saw Corbell in that first inning dial his fastball up all the way up to 92-93. He's got good stuff. Anderson's a little bit less of a power pitcher. We'll see him with a fastball in the mid-80s. For Miami, it'll be Christian Tejada, the designated hitter. He'll lead off. Kyle Winkler will hit behind him. He's in left field. Landon Stevens will bat third. Jordan Stevens will follow him in the cleanup spot. Cal Elvers will hit fifth. Colin Shepard in the 6th hole. Parker Massman hitting 7th. Behind him will be McKay Williams, and at the bottom of the order will be Charlie Harrigan. Tejada, the leadoff hitter, hits right-handed. He's a sophomore, typically out in center field, but all 3 games of this series, we've seen him at the designated hitter spot, still kind of working himself back from injuries. Not fully ready to play the field, as Danny Hayden, the RedHawks skipper, feels Parker Massman is the better defensive option in center, at least at the moment. Tejada, however, has been the RedHawks' hottest hitter for much of the season. He leads the team with a .385 batting average. 1 home run, 22 knocked in, and once he gets on base, which he does at almost a 500% clip, .491. He's a base-stealing threat. He's 17 of 18 on the year. We saw him earlier in this series, I believe it was Friday night, get thrown out for the first time all season. Jake Dunham doing a fantastic job behind the plate in this series as Tejada steps to the plate. He'll face Ryan Anderson. First pitch to Tejada is taken for a ball outside, 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the 1-0. Tejada will swing on this one and foul it off towards the right side and out of play over the Husky dugout. In this series so far, we've seen 2 Husky pitchers who are over 200 pounds and over 6'8". Anderson a little less imposing figure as he gets a breaking ball over for strike 2. 1-2 the count now. Anderson's a 6'2", 195-pounder. Here's the 1-2 to Tejada. He takes high, 4-2. 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Try to get him to chase there. No cigar. The 2-2. This one is swung on and lifted towards the second baseman. Rodriguez is under it, and he'll take care of it for out number 1. Yesterday, Tejada scored one of Miami's 3 runs, the big hit being a 2-run double from Landon Stevens in the 3-hole today. Stevens had a 2-run triple that scored 2 of Miami's 3 runs. That was about the extent of Miami's offense, though, as they struggled their way to a 6-3 loss. Kyle Winkler stepping in. He was in the 5-hole yesterday, now up to the 2-hole with Vogelsang gone. He takes a ball outside, 86-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch. Winkler hitting .318 on the year, 4 home runs, 26 knocked in. Those 4 home runs are tied for second on the RedHawks as he takes a strike, 85-mile-an-hour pitch on the outside corner. Winkler waves the bat around a couple times. Ryan Anderson gets set on the mound. He will deliver. Breaking ball that time. It finds the zone. Slowed it all the way down to 72 miles an hour there as he put one at the knees and on the outside corner for strike two. Both batter and pitcher are set. Anderson kicks and deals. This one's on the ground towards Chasney at third base. He'll fire on to first. No problem there for the Huskies, and that's out number two. That'll bring up Landon Stevens, arguably Miami's best hitter, at least their most powerful. He's hitting .292 on the year, also tied for second on the team with 4 home runs, and he's got over 30 RBIs. He's in the team lead there. Stevens also a right-handed hitter. First pitch he sees is a little too low. Anderson came with the breaking ball again at 72 miles an hour. He's beneath the knees, though, as he falls behind 1-0 to Landon Stevens. We see 2 left-handed hitters today for the RedHawks, both towards the bottom of the order in McKay Williams and Charlie Harrigan, as Stevens fouls that one towards the parking lot over the Husky dugout. 1-1 the count now. Stevens yesterday, like we said, with that second triple of the season. He swings on a breaking ball here and loops that one into left field for a base hit. So the RedHawks have their first run of the ball game. Jordan Stevens, the cleanup hitter, will now come to the plate as Landon Stevens is on first base. Landon can run a little bit, even for a bigger guy. 10 of 12 on the year in stolen bases. We'll see if he runs here with 2 down in the bottom of the first inning. Score still knotted at 0. No one able to scratch across to run, as Stevens was the first hit of the ball game. So here's Jordan Stevens. He's batting .327 on the year. First pitch to him. He's first pitch swinging. Drives this one towards the right field line. It's tailing away from the right fielder Smith, and it'll just go foul. Smith tried to dive for that one as he crossed the foul line. However, unable to come up with it, just out of his reach. Stevens made it almost all the way to second base before pulling up and having to come back to home plate. As I was saying, Stevens a .327 hitter on the year, 2 home runs, 22 knocked in. He and the man down at first base, his namesake, or his name sharer, I guess, Landon Stevens. Kind of switching positions lately, as Landon played third base for most of this season. Now Jordan shifting to the hot corner as Landon moved over to Jordan's typical position of second base. Second pitch to Jordan is just beneath the knees. Anderson going with a good mix of breaking balls and fastballs here, as he readies for the 1-1 to Jordan Stevens. Batter and pitcher are set. Here comes the pitch from Anderson. It's another breaking ball. This one's low as well. That moves the count to 2-1. Anderson's topped out at 86 with his fastball so far and has thrown that little breaking ball up there. A nice curveball at 72, 73 miles an hour, really slowing it down for the RedHawk hitters. Yesterday they had trouble with Michael Lazowitz, the Husky starter. He was very good at changing speeds as well. And the RedHawks couldn't figure that out for the better part of 6 innings. Finally able to strike through in the 6th inning, but that's all they got. Stevens will ground this one up the middle. It's in the center field for a base hit. So 2 straight hits here for the RedHawks, both ground balls that sneak through the infield. And there's a little trouble brewing for Ryan Anderson now. Cal Elvers, the catcher, will come to the plate. He's hitting .355, and he leads Miami with 5 home runs, 26 knocked in. He is 6th in the Mid-American Conference in batting average as he steps to the plate at the moment. 2 down in the inning. Runners on first and second. Both Stevens, both with good speed. Jordan at first, Landon at second base. So here's Cal. He waves the bat a couple of times. He'll get ready for the pitch from Ryan Anderson. Anderson checks on the runner at second base. No one holding him on. First pitch will go to the backstop. It's a breaking ball, and both runners will advance without a throw. Looked like that one just sneaked underneath Jake Dunham, the catcher. Breaking ball in the low 70s that time from Anderson. So now Cal is sitting at the plate with runners in scoring position at second and third base. Still 2 down in the inning. The 1-0 pitch from Anderson. It's swung on, but Elvers takes a big cut at that one. Comes up empty. 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball beneath the knees. Anderson getting Elvers to chase there. Alan Shepard is in the on-deck circle if we were to get that far. The 1-1. That one's in there for a called strike at the knees, a 72-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Anderson relying heavily on that so far. He's thrown just about as many breaking balls in that low 70s range as he has fastballs. Cal's going to have to get defensive here with 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. Here it comes. This one swung on. It'll be in a shallow right field. Cam Smith, the right fielder, is under it, and that will retire the side. So the RedHawks threaten with 2 hits in the inning, move them over to second and third, but ultimately come up empty. We're still tied at 0 as we head to the top of the second inning. We'll be right back on Red Hawk Radio. We're back here in Oxford as Jack Corbell enters his second inning of work. He pitched a perfect 1-2-3 first inning. No hits or base runners for NIU. Miami in their bottom half of the first. Got 2 runners on base with both singles. Unable to scratch across a run. Nick Drobasevich steps to the plate now. He's a freshman designated hitter. We've seen him out in right field for the first 2 games this series, taking over the designated hitter's role today. He looks at strike 1. Here's the second pitch to him. It's off the plate away. Corbell came with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, just a little bit outside. Drobasevich hitting .309 on the year with 2 home runs, 29 knocked in. His ribeye total is second on Northern Illinois. He spoils this one out towards the Jay Hayden Baseball Center foul. That'll get out of play. 1-2 count now to the Huskies cleanup hitter. Drobosevich, a left-handed batter, facing the righty Corbell. Corbell will kick and deal. This one is just touched by Drobosevich. He was just able to get a piece of that and foul it off near the catcher to stay alive at 1-2. Yesterday, Northern Illinois faced Spencer Mraz, the starter for Miami. He was not on his strikeout game, at least, as Corbell throws one outside. 2-2 the count now. But Shane Smith came in and started fooling all of the Northern Illinois hitters with his breaking ball. Spencer Mraz feeding the Huskies a steady diet of fastballs, so that was a change from the first 4 innings. Suddenly it was a strikeout parade as Drobosevich fouls this one off. Another one towards the J. Hayden Baseball Center. That'll bounce off the roof. Out in foul ground left field. The 2-2 pitch. Corbell tried to get him to chase there with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball up in the eyes. Drobosevich says, no, I'm not offering it that. That moves the count to full, 3-2. The payoff pitch. This one is lined towards the shortstop, Colin Shepard. He'll pick it up and throw it over to Harrigan. That's out number 1 in the inning. So 4 up, 4 down so far for Jack Corbell. Drobosevich able to work the count there, but ultimately is retired. Cam Smith, the right fielder, he's a sophomore. He'll bat next. Smith hitting .291 on the year with 2 home runs, 25 knocked in. As mentioned last at bat, he was manning the designated hitter position for the last 2 games, now out in right field. First pitch Corbell throws to him, almost hits him in the foot. He's able to dodge an 86-mile-an-hour fastball there, and it's all smiles from the righty Smith. 1-0 the count now as Corbell kicks and deals. This one is lined in between Stevens and Colin Shepard into left field. That's a base hit for Smith, and that's the first of the ball game for the Northern Illinois Huskies. They've got a runner aboard now with 1 out. That'll bring Jordan Larson to the plate. He's at first base today, as he was the last 2 games as well. He's a junior hitting .250 on the year, 2 home runs, 16 knocked in. Smith, not a huge threat to run down there at first base. He's got 5 stolen base attempts on the year. 2 of them were successful. He's got a moderate-sized lead here as Jack Corbell works from the stretch for the first time. He delivers a first pitch strike right down the middle. 86-mile-an-hour get-me-over fastball to Larson. Larson, the right-handed batter, with Harrigan holding on Smith at first base. There's a big hole between the first baseman and the second baseman. As Corbell throws over, he'll check on Smith, nothing doing as he's back in safely. Here's the 0-1. This one is grounded right between that hole that I just mentioned into right field for a base hit. So after Miami strung together 2 hits in the bottom of the first, weren't able to scratch across any runs, but now the Northern Illinois Huskies threatening with the same exact thing. They've got their 2 of their first 3 hitters of the inning on. Josh Mutter, the center fielder, will bat now. He's a left-handed hitter. The junior hitting .240 on the year, no home runs, 13 knocked in. He could add to that total here if he's able to poke one into the outfield. First pitch to Mutter. That one's in there for a strike. Outside corner fastball, 86 miles an hour on the gun. Mentioned Smith not being the fastest guy in the world. Jordan Larson a little bit more successful on his stolen base attempts. He's at first base at the moment. He's 5 of 6 on the year. Corbell sets for the 0-1. Here it is. That one's just beneath the zone, a 75 mile an hour breaking ball. Illinois yesterday was able to jump on the board first, scoring 4 in the first 2 innings. Looking to do the same thing here today. Corbell staring down the runner at second base. He'll deliver the 1-1. This one is fouled back into the netting behind home plate. Corbell challenged him with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. A couple feet higher, and that's over the net coming towards us as we'll need Bennett Wise and his softball glove out here today. My good buddy Bennett Wise, typical broadcast partner, as Corbell delivers the 1-2. Slowed it down that time. It's roped into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. They're going to send Smith to the plate. Here comes the throw, and he's in there safely. Massman made a great throw towards home plate. It just wasn't in time. Cam Smith slides in safely, head first. And Josh Mutter is in there with an RBI single. Larson staying at second base. The Huskies taking a quick 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. Still only 1 out for Corbell in the inning.
The second baseman, Alex Rodriguez.
Northern Illinois dugout is very excited as they're breaking out in a chance. Alex Rodriguez, the batter now. He's a sophomore at second base. No relation to Alex Rodriguez, the former superstar slugger for the New York Yankees and several other teams. Rodriguez takes strike 1 right down the chute at 86 miles an hour on the first pitch. Rodriguez hitting 188 on the year. This will be his 19th started game of the season. No home runs, 4 knocked in. Corbell will throw the 0-1 to Rodriguez. Here that is. A fastball that looked good from here. However, the home plate umpire, Timothy Farwig, says, no, sir, that one's off the outside corner. 1-1 the count now to Rodriguez, the Husky second baseman. Still runners at first and second base after Mutter unknotted this ball game from a 0-0 tie. 1-0 the Huskies lead. Here's Corbell the pitch. Both runners are going. Here's a tapper right back to Corbell. He'll throw on the first for the out. However, Rodriguez does his job, moves both the runners over now with 2 outs. We'll see the 9-hole hitter, Patty McCormick, come to the plate now. He's at shortstop today. We've seen him in each of the first 2 games. He started at second base on Friday afternoon. Last night we saw him pinch hit and come on to play second base again. Tonight at shortstop, like I said. He's a freshman hitting 0.070 on the year, so he leaves a lot to be desired at the plate. No home runs, 1 knocked in. This is his 19th start as well, very similar to Alex Rodriguez. McCormick, I'm sure, would love to add to that total here, and he has the opportunity to as he fouls the first pitch he sees off and out of play towards the right side. Mutter at second base, Larson, the base runner, at third. Both Husky runners with 5 stolen bases on the year, so decent runners. Here's the pitch to McCormick. That one's off the outside corner, a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Evens the count at 1-1 to Patty McCormick. McCormick in 57 at-bats this season has struck out 28 times, so just under half of his at-bat totals. Corbell, I'm sure, would love a strikeout here as he delivers the 1-1. That one is beneath the zone. He heated it up there, 91 miles an hour. Not enough control on that one, though, as it's too low. McCormick, with his low batting average and high strikeout total, is one of those guys you probably want to just come right after and challenge him to hit you. We'll see if Corbell does that here. He does. This one is tapped towards the left side, foul down the third baseline. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. Northern Illinois, as mentioned, has taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. 3 hits in the inning after Jack Corbell threw a perfect first. Here's the 2-2. That one's outside away. He tried to get him with the breaking ball. 79 miles an hour that time. Cal Elvers with a good stop there. The ball was in the dirt, and Cal was able to stop it from going to the backstop. Probably would have signified one more Northern Illinois run in this inning if it would have gotten past him. McCormick ready in the box. Corbell looking in for his 3-2 sign. Here's the payoff pitch. He walked him. McCormick will jog on down to first base. That'll load the bases as the lineup turns over for the Huskies. Corbell working to a 2-2 count before losing McCormick. McCormick on the year, that's his 6th walk. As we mentioned, not really having the best of seasons at the plate by any stretch of the imagination. However, Corbell unable to get out of this inning as the lineup turns over. Tommy Shasney will be the batter now. Shasney 0 for 1 on the day. Chance to ramify that here as he grounds one towards third base. Jordan Stevens will pick it up. He'll throw on to first, and the inning is over. So minimal damage done even after 3 hits and a walk issued by Jack Corbell. The Huskies are able to break this game open, at least on the scoreboard. 1-0 they lead after 1.5.
Miami fans, be sure to participate in baseball bingo by picking up a bingo
Corbell through 2 innings of work now. His counterpart Ryan Anderson will go back out there for his 2nd inning of work as well. He'll face Colin Shepard, the shortstop, to lead things off. We've talked extensively on air about Miami and their success when they score first in this ball game. Not going to happen today. They're going to have to fight from behind for the 2nd straight day. They failed in their comeback attempt yesterday. See if they have any more fire today. They're trying to avoid losing their 2nd weekend series of the season. They dropped their first one last weekend to Ball State. It's been a rough go of things for the RedHawks, at least in terms of their 2019 season recently. They started off on an all-time hot stretch, off to the best start in program history, actually, before falling off during their last 5 or 6 games. After losing to the University of Cincinnati a week and a half ago in midweek action, they dropped 2 of 3 to Ball State last weekend, then fell midweek to Xavier University 13-4 on Tuesday night. They've split the first 2 games of this series with the Northern Illinois Huskies. Looking to get back on track are the RedHawks. Shepard to lead things off. 291 the junior is hitting. No home runs, 11 RBIs in his first season of Division I baseball, his first season at Miami. He came from Sinclair College. As he fouls this one right over our heads, back over the protective netting behind home plate. That's strike 1 from Ryan Anderson. Shepard, a very good contact hitter, more walks than strikeouts on the year. 10 walks, 7 strikeouts as he looks at a ball off the outside corner, 4-1. Very patient hitter. Not much power, but he's in there today at shortstop and will look to lead off the inning here, providing Miami with a base runner. The second pitch he sees, the second ball he sees, off the plate away. 2-1 the count now. Here is the 2-1 from Anderson. This one is swung on and driven towards center field. The center fielder, Mutter, coming in just a bit. He'll take care of it. That's out number 1 in the inning. So Miami unable to get their leadoff runner on. I'll bring up McKay Williams now. I'll actually bring up Parker Massman. McKay Williams will be on deck. Massman, the right-handed sophomore, out in center field today, as he has been for the first 2 games of this series. He's got 3 home runs and 17 knocked in on the year while hitting .216. Trying to get back on track after enduring a heavy sophomore slump during the first part of this season. Was one of the standouts for the RedHawks last year. Really entrenched himself in that starting center fielder's role as he takes a strike from Anderson. Massman last year took over the center field duties from Dallas Hall, actually moved Dallas to right field. He's no longer with the team. As Massman takes ball 1. Massman really looked to have that position solidified for, probably 4 years, or at least that was the predicted way things were going to go. Hasn't really been that way, as Christian Tejada has kind of unseated him in center field. Massman now in right field on most nights. As Anderson hops one to the catcher, that's in the dirt, 71-mile-an-hour breaking ball, moves the count to 2-1. Massman finally, just in the last week or so, getting that average up above 200, now at 216. As he swings at this one and drives it into left field. Joyce will actually range over and take care of that one. Looked like it might drop for a second. Holds up in the air just a bit too long for Massman. That'll bring up McKay Williams. McKay in his second year at Miami. He's a senior with a transfer last year. He's hitting .297 on the year with 2 home runs and 23 knocked in, hitting in the 8th hole today. One of 3 left-handed Miami hitters. We saw Colin Shepard 2 batters ago, and then the third, besides McKay, is the guy waiting on deck, Charlie Harrigan. McKay looks at a first pitch in the dirt. That one's ball 1, a 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Ryan Anderson. McKay, one of several RedHawks who have bleached their hair over the course of this season. That one's driven back up into center field. That's a base hit for Williams. Miami looking for a little 2-out rally here as they get their first runner of the inning aboard. Williams with arguably the hardest hit ball we've seen in this game so far. He squared that one up on the barrel and drove it into center field for a base hit. Charlie Harrigan in the 9 hole. He's up next. He'll step into the batter's box with Williams on first base. Tejada, the leadoff hitter, waiting on the on-deck circle. As I mentioned, McKay Williams, one of several RedHawks with bleached hair. Seems to be something that a lot of the guys are thinking is a good idea, for better or worse, as Harrigan fouls that one off out of play towards the left side. Harrigan hitting .259 on the year, 1 home run, 27 knocked in. He's also in his first season at Miami, even though he's a junior. Another transfer for Danny Hayden and the RedHawks. Instead of throwing the 0-1 pitch, Anderson will check on McKay Williams at first base. McKay's back in standing. Here's the 0-1 to Harrigan. That one's off the plate away. A breaking ball at 74 miles per hour. 1-1, the count is now even. Sun is trying to peek through here at Hayden Park. It's been unsuccessful for most of the morning and early afternoon so far, as that pitch plunks Harrigan. He took a 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball right off that front thigh. He'll jog on down to first base, and now the RedHawks have 2 aboard. McKay Williams at second base, Charlie Harrigan at first, as the lineup turns over. Christian Tejada, who flew out to center field in his first at-bat. He'll be the batter now. Here's the first pitch to him. This one is swung on and grounded towards the shortstop. He'll fire to Rodriguez at second base, and the side is retired. So that'll end the inning for the RedHawks. They get 2 runners aboard with a single and also a hit by pitch, but are unable to get a run. Huskies still lead 1-0 after 2. We'll be right back on RedHawk Radio. Well, welcome back, friends, to Oxford. It's alumni weekend here at Miami. Miami honoring many of their legends of the baseball program throughout this 3-game series. Today, the series finale and the rubber match. Jack Corbell, the Miami starter, currently trailing 1-0. Brendan Joyce, the 2-hole hitter for the Huskies, to lead things off here in the inning. First pitch to him is inside. He takes the second pitch strike there. 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball, 1-1 the count now. Joyce 0-for-1 on the day. The 1-1 to him is just inside, according to the home plate umpire, Timothy Farwig. Corbell, typically a power pitcher, especially early on in the count, going with the breaking ball there. Going with back-to-back breaking balls, actually. One was successful, one wasn't. He comes back with a fastball here. It's on the outside corner at 91 miles an hour. Joyce will have to get defensive here, sitting in a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Corbell. This one's on the ground, but it's fouled off down the third baseline. Count holds at 2-2. Joyce able to stay alive here. Trying to get aboard and possibly extend that Northern Illinois lead. They currently lead 1-0. Through 2 full. This one's on the ground, up the middle. It'll get through into center field. That's a base hit for Brendan Joyce. Once again, the leadoff runner is on for Northern Illinois. Jake Dunham will hit now. Dunham also 0-for-1 on the day. He was retired, as was Joyce, in the first inning by Jack Corbell. Corbell working a perfect 1-2-3 inning before running into troubles in the last inning, the second. He gave up 3 hits in that inning and a run. He just gave up his 4th hit of the afternoon to Brendan Joyce. He stands at first base. Corbell readies and fires towards home. That one's just off the plate. 87-mile-an-hour fastball there from Corbell. Can't find the zone to Dunham. Joyce likes to steal, 11 tries on the year, but hasn't really been too successful. Only 5 stolen bases converted. Corbell checks on him over at first base. He's back in with a head-first slide. 1-0 the count remains. Corbell will once again take a look at Joyce. He'll now deliver the pitch. Actually, he's going to turn and fire once again. And for the second straight play, Brendan Joyce slides back in head first. Dunham ready to see a pitch. He wiggles the bat around a couple times, takes a hearty cut at that one and fouls it about a mile out into the air. Someone in the crowd calls 4 like in golf, as Dunham evens the count at 1-1, excuse me. Corbell seems worried about Joyce over there, keeps taking looks at him. He'll deliver the 1-1 now. This one is also singled back up into center. Actually, Colin Shepard with a diving stop up the middle, the shortstop, able to corral that one in the very end of his glove. He flips on to Landon Stevens. That's second base for the out. They get the lead runner, but are unable to get Dunham booking it down the first base line. So that's a loud first out for the Northern Illinois Huskies. Nick Drobasevich coming up now. He's the designated hitter. He's also 0-for-1 on the day as Dunham takes his lead down at first base. Dunham 0-for-1 on the year in stolen base attempts, so not much of a threat to run. As Drobasevich takes a 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball off the outside corner away. We'll check the runner. He'll look in and will deal. Another breaking ball that time from Corbell. We're seeing a lot of them in this inning. That one's in there for a strike on the outside corner. He started that 72-mile-an-hour pitch away, curved it back into the zone for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Northern Illinois leading 1-0 in the top of the third. This one's on the ground towards Shepard. Could be 2. He flips to Stevens 4-1, and they don't get the second out at first base as the throw was in the dirt. Harrigan had to block it. Drobasevich booking it down the line. Just like Dunham on the play before, he was safe. So 2 straight fielder's choices for the RedHawks defensively. They've got 2 down in the inning. Cam Smith, the right fielder, is up now with a runner on first base. That'll be Drobasevich. Smith with a single and actually the first hit of the afternoon for Northern Illinois back in the previous inning. Corbell will check on Drobasevich. He throws over there. The designated hitter for the Huskies slides back in safely head first. He's got a decent-sized lead over there. 11 of 16 on the year in stolen base attempts as Corbell deals. Drobasevich stays at first base. That pitch is just a bit high. Smith down in his crouched down batting stance as Corbell will check on Drobasevich again. He's back in safely for the second straight attempt. He's got a good-sized lead over there, and he leads the team, Northern Illinois that is, in both stolen bases and stolen base attempts. Cam Smith takes a big cut at that one, comes up empty. 1-1 the count now after that big swing and a miss. Sun becoming more prominent here in Oxford. We're seeing less and less clouds as storms over the past couple of days seem to be moving out of southern Ohio. Corbell will once again check on Drobasevich. He's worried about him over there. Harrigan will continue to hold him on at first base. Landon Stevens kind of playing more towards the second base bag up the middle at second base. Colin Shepard playing in normal shortstop position. There goes the runner. The pitch is up high. It's taken. And the throw will go into center field from Cal Elvers. Drobasevich will stay right at second base after the pop-up slide. Massman, the center fielder, able to get it back in quickly. So the count now to Cam Smith is 2-1. 2 outs in the inning. Drobasevich now at second base after the stolen base. That's his 12th of the season. Cam Smith is able to repeat what he did in his first at-bat and single right back up the middle. Northern Illinois might be able to double their lead here. Corbell will take a look back. He'll take another, and now he'll pitch. This one is lined towards Stevens at second. It's into the right center field gap. This one's going to go all the way to the wall. The run will easily come home in. Smith is still running. He'll be into third with a stand-up triple. And the biggest hit of the ball game so far for Northern Illinois. They take a 2-0 lead on a Cam Smith RBI triple. So Smith has to be the team MVP so far. He led off and came around to score the only run of the game until he just drove in Drobasevich from second base with an RBI triple. So he's basically responsible for both of the Northern Illinois runs so far. They lead Miami 2-0. Batter now, Jordan Larson, the first baseman. He looks at a first pitch off the outside corner, 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Corbell kicks and deals. That one's upstairs. He came with the breaking ball again. For whatever reason, Jack Corbell has leaned heavily on that breaking ball in this inning. Typically a power pitcher. We'll see him up into the low 90s in velocity on the fastball. He's at 86 miles an hour there as he gets one over. Smith at third base communicating with the third base coach. Not a big lead there. Don't want to risk anything with a runner just 90 feet away. There's a big breaking ball, big bender that time. 73 miles an hour from Corbell, finds the strike zone for strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Jordan Larson. Here's the pitch. Corbell reached back and added a little something extra there. 93 miles an hour on the gun. However, it's in the left-handed batter's box almost, outside to the right-handed hitting Larson. Payoff pitch looming with 2 outs. This is a big pitch for Corbell. Here it comes. And he pulled the string on him. 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball, just beautiful. As Larson swings through that one, he gets the strikeout, does Corbell. That'll end the inning, but once again, the damage is done. Mitigated, but done by Northern Illinois. Corbell giving up an RBI triple to Cam Smith. Smith's just coming up huge in this game. He struggled through the first 2 games of this series, but today already has 2 hits. Good enough to lead Northern Illinois, obviously. It was his first hit of the ball game that eventually gave Northern Illinois their first run of the game. He came around to score, and with the RBI triple driving in Nick Drobasevich. Ryan Anderson will be back out there on the mound dealing with a 2-0 lead. He'll throw his warm-up tosses out there as Miami will look to battle back. Kyle Winkler will lead off the inning for Miami. He's announced by the stadium announcer, Scott Shriver. Anderson able to retire Winkler in his first at-bat. Here's his second try. The first pitch he sees, he's swinging on. He grounds this one towards the shortstop, McCormick. McCormick will come up firing and easily throw out Winkler for the first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Anderson, the pitcher. He'll face Landon Stevens now, the 3-hole hitter for Miami. Landon had the first hit of the ball game for the RedHawks. All the way back in that first inning, part of a 2-hit first inning, as Jordan Stevens followed him with another single. However, Miami unable to get any runs during the frame. Landon Stevens rocking Old Town Road as his walk-up song. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike. 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Anderson. We've seen both pitchers today really rely on their breaking stuff, even more than their fastball. Total swing from yesterday's ball game, which we saw starters Spencer Mraz and Lazowitz both throw a bunch of fastballs. This one is skied towards the right field line. It's actually going to get down and bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. Landon Stevens hit that one a mile high towards the right field line. It just kept trailing off Cam Smith, the right fielder, unable to get there. And it took a big bounce over the wall and just past the bullpen of Northern Illinois. So Landon Stevens, with 1 out, has his second hit of the ball game. This time it's a double after a first-inning single. RedHawks have a runner aboard and in scoring position for Jordan Stevens, the cleanup hitter. Stevens, as previously mentioned, already 1 for 1 on the day with the first-inning single. He was left stranded out there by his fellow RedHawk teammates. But could come through here, driving in Landon Stevens if he's able to put a ball in the outfield. Anderson taking a long time looking for his sign. The umpire will now give time. Stevens steps out and now steps back in as Anderson readies on the mound. We'll take a look at Landon Stevens at second base now turns and delivers to Jordan Stevens. That's a 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball in there for a called strike. Really slowed it down there. It's the slowest pitch that we've seen this afternoon. Anderson throws the 0-1. That one's in the dirt that time, a fastball at 84. Catcher Dunham able to block that on the one hopper. The 1-1 after an extended look at Stevens at second base. It's a breaking ball at 73 below the zone. Jordan Stevens, after the pitch, grimaced a little bit. Don't know if he was granted a call there by the home plate umpire, Timothy Farwig. Might have thought that one was a strike, and he got away with one. 2-1 is on its way, and that one is also missing the zone. Third straight breaking ball from Anderson, 74 miles an hour beneath the zone. Count at 3-1. Good hitters count for the RedHawks cleanup hitter. Landon Stevens out there at second base in scoring position. One out in the inning, so a good chance here for Miami to finally get on the board. Cal Elvers in the on-deck circle. We will probably get to him, barring any wacky double play. That one's in there for a strike at 84-mile-an-hour fastball. As Stevens thought that one was a little outside, he dropped the bat and started walking towards first base. Now picks it up with a smile on his face. RedHawks dugout giving him some crap, taunting him a little bit. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one's upstairs, and now Stevens can drop his bat and actually walk down to first base. So for the second time in 3 innings, both Landon and Jordan Stevens are both aboard. They stand at second and first respectively for Cal Elvers. Elvers flew out to right field to end the first inning and leave both Stevenses stranded. We're going to take a quick pause in the action here as Anderson will get a talking to from his pitching coach. Catcher Dunham actually going out there as well, joining them on the mound. Everyone will now retreat to their respective positions. And we'll get going here with Cal Elvers stepping into the box. As mentioned, Cal 0 for 1 on the day. Runners at first and second. He's hitting with runners aboard for the second consecutive time. Anderson trying to work out of trouble here. A double play would end the inning, as there's one out. Cal would really like to avoid putting the ball on the ground here. Would really like to lift one into the outfield. Hopefully it would get down and give the RedHawks their first run of the ball game. Here's the first pitch to Elvers. That one's across. As Anderson fires an 85-mile-an-hour fastball in there for the strike. Cal wiggles the bat a couple of times. Anderson now set on the mound. Here's the 0-1. Both runners are going, and it's a hit and run as Elvers pounds this one into center field. The runners are going to have to get back as this one's caught, and they will do so successfully. Kind of a risky play there from Danny Hayden to put on the hit and run, or unless it was just a steal sign and Cal swung through it anyway. He got a decent pitch to hit. It looked like to be a hanging breaking ball from Anderson. However, hung up in the air a little bit too long as the center fielder Mutter able to range over and take care of that one. So now 2 outs in the inning for Colin Shepard. Shepard 0 for 1 on the day as well. Second baseman playing back for Northern Illinois. Shortstop playing more towards the second base bag, a little back, and the third baseman Chasney is playing even with the bag. Neither of the runners being held on for Miami. First pitch Shepard sees is off the plate away. That's a fastball that's missing a few inches off the corner of the plate. Here's the pitch from Anderson. Shepard once again taking 83-mile-an-hour fastball, that time in the exact same spot off the corner of the outside third of the plate. It's a little dance going on between the shortstop, McCormick, and Landon Stevens at second base. As Anderson throws the 2-0, that one's low. He misses with another fastball, moving to count to 3-0. You got to think Shepard will be taking all the way here. Really trying to work Anderson's pitch count. He's nearing 50 through 2 2/3. Corbell through 3 is almost at 60 pitches. Here's the 3-0. That one's low, and Shepard is aboard. Miami chalks the bases full. Parker Massman to bat now. He's 0 for 1 on the day, but he comes up in a big spot here. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. A hit would presumably score 2 and score at least enough to tie this ball game at 2. If he hits one in the gap, it could bring around all 3 Red Hawk runners. But there are 2 outs. Ryan Anderson looking to work out of trouble for the second time this afternoon. He did so in the first, successfully, looking to do it again here as his first pitch to Massman. Just a little bit low with the fastball there, 84 miles an hour. Infield pretty much back to normal depth and position for Northern Illinois. Outfielders also at normal depth and position, as Massman is almost standing straight up, open stance, is ready. He swings on this one and pops it up straight in front of home plate. It's actually going to be foul, and Chasney, the third baseman, will come on and make the play. That'll end the inning, and Miami unable to strike again. So we go to the top of the fourth. Miami down 2-0. Redhawks looking for some momentum. We're on Red Hawk Radio. Top of the fourth inning as Josh Mutter will lead things off for Northern Illinois. They lead 2-0 against Jack Corbell and the RedHawks as Corbell's first pitch is beneath the zone, an 84-mile-an-hour fastball that he skips in the dirt to catcher Cal Elvers. Mutter 1 for 1 on the day. His hit was big as it provided one of the two Husky runs, an RBI single. Second pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Here's Corbell's third pitch of the at-bat. This one he bounces again, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. He's behind in the count to the batter, Mutter, 2-1. Mutter's hit being 1 of 5 for Northern Illinois. Miami has almost as many with 4 as Corbell throws the ball off the outside corner there, moving the count to 3-1. Miami having 4 hits but unable to get any around. 2 of them by Landon Stevens, the other by Jordan Stevens and McKay Williams as Mutter takes another ball off the outside corner. That's ball 4. He'll trot on down to first base with a base on balls.
The second baseman,
Alex Rodriguez, the batter now. He's 0 for 1. Patty McCormick, we'll see him next. He's on deck. Mutter 5 for 7 on the year in stolen bases. He's got a moderate lead down there at first base as the first pitch to Rodriguez is in there for a called strike. 87 miles an hour right on the inside corner. Painting the black was Corbell. Once again, the sun has disappeared in Oxford. It can't decide whether it wants to stay out or go inside and hide, as that one is just a bit high to Rodriguez. Wind also picking up. It's a little chilly out here when the wind is whipping and the sun isn't out, but temperatures slated to go all the way up into the high 50s as we move further into the afternoon. Corbell steps off the mound and the runner, Mutter, will retreat. Rodriguez waiting at the plate with a 1-1 count. Corbell working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. That one's in there. Another pitch on the inside corner, a fastball at 85. That's in there for a strike. 1-2 the count now. I talked earlier in the broadcast about Corbell and his unorthodox pitching style. Well, that's just from the windup. From the stretch, he looks completely normal. From the windup, it's almost like he's sped up. Energizer Bunny-esque. And so check on the runner at first base. He throws over, Mutter back in safely with a head-first slide. Mutter getting bolder with each pitch as he seems to take an extra step with each one. That pitch, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, is off the plate away. 2-2 the count now to Rodriguez. I'm sure Corbell, after giving up a run in each of the last 2 innings, would love to get a ground ball double play here before facing the 9-hole hitter McCormick. He's hitting less than 100 on the year. This one's grounded towards Stevens. He might get that double play. Stevens to Harrigan, and they get it. Jack Corbell dials it up. 6-4-3 double play, and suddenly no base runners on for Northern Illinois. Jack Corbell will face Patty McCormick with 2 outs. That's a big at-bat for Jack Corbell as he really started off the game well with a 1-2-3 first, ran into trouble in each of the last 2, and now after giving up a leadoff runner to the Northern Illinois Huskies, he's able to get out of it. He goes back to the full windup, and his first pitch to McCormick off the outside corner, an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-0 the count now to the 9-hole hitter for Northern Illinois. Wind up and the pitch. This one is slapped foul down the left field line. McCormick, in his only plate appearance thus far, he walked. Corbell got him to a 2-2 count before losing him and throwing 2 pitches off the plate away. This one he lines towards right field, and McKay Williams comes on and makes a diving grab. Got to retire the side. McKay playing very shallow into right field with the tiny hitting McCormick at the plate. He comes on, makes the play, and that's out number 3. So we'll go to the bottom of 4 here. Northern Illinois still leading 2-0, but Jack Corbell bouncing back a little bit after allowing a leadoff runner.
He
got a 6-4-3 double play and then got the 9-hole hitter McCormick fly out to right field. The lineup will turn over for Northern Illinois next time we see them hit in the top of the 5th. Presumably Corbell would be back out there. He's about 70 pitches through his 4 innings. Speaking of back out there, Ryan Anderson is back out on the mound for Northern Illinois. He enters his 4th inning of work. So far, he's thrown 51 pitches and allowed 4 hits and 2 walks, but has not given up a run. Every time he's worked in trouble, has been able to get out of it unscathed. We see McKay Williams, the 8-hole hitter for Miami, to lead off. He'll be followed by Charlie Harrigan before we go back to the top of the order in Christian Tejada. McKay 1-for-1 with a hit so far. As Anderson finishes warm-up pitches, we'll see that battle in just a moment. Tim McKay steps in. The first pitch he sees is off the plate. 82-mile-an-hour fastball that can't find the zone. Here's the 1-0 McKay Williams. McKay offers at this one. He'll pop it up towards the left side of the infield. McCormick, the shortstop, tracking. He'll get under it for out number 1. Kind of ranged into the third base territory there, but Chasney, the third baseman, is letting him have it all the way. Kermit calling that one from the time it went up into the air. He's able to take care of it. That'll bring Charlie Harrigan to the plate. Harrigan was plunked by a pitch, a breaking ball he took right off the thigh in his first at-bat. Still looking to register his first official at-bat. Let's see if he gets the chance here. Here's the first pitch to him. He'll swing at that one and sky it towards right field. First pitch swinging, and Cam Smith, the right fielder, barely has to move to catch that line drive from Charlie Harrigan. Quickly 2 down for Miami as Christian Tejada will come up. That goes back to the top of the lineup for Miami. Tejada 0-for-2 on the day, has left 2 runners on base. Had a chance to drive in a couple guys last inning, was unsuccessful. First pitch to him is just off the plate away, an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. This one he fouls off towards the right side. That'll will not be caught, moving the count to 1-1. Tejada with the 1-1. He'll be plunked this time. He takes one off the arm, another breaking ball. We've seen a steady diet of those from Anderson to the RedHawks today, and he hasn't been able to control all of them. A couple have gotten away and hit Miami batters. That's one of them, as Tejada will move on to first base. He's on for the first time today, bringing up Kyle Winkler. Winkler also 0-for-2, still looking to find the base paths for the first time today. We talked earlier about Christian Tejada and his speed. Miami does love to run even as a team, and Tejada is at the top of that list behind Will Vogelsang, who we are not seeing today. He went out with an injury yesterday. I do not have a timetable for his return, but it's Colin Shepard at short today. Tejada with a small lead down there at first base as Kyle Winkler takes strike 1, an 83-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees. Anderson looking Tejada's way. He'll now turn his attention back to the batter. Wind up and the 0-1 pitch. This one he bounces in the dirt, 71-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Squirts out in front of the catcher, Dunham, but he corrals it in time, holding Tejada at first base. Winkler sitting with a 1-1 count now. Tejada with a bigger lead this time. We'll see if he's going on the 1-1 here with 2 outs. He is not, as Anderson delivers a breaking ball off the plate and in the dirt. 71 miles an hour that time, moving the count to 2-1. We saw last inning Danny Hayden put on a hit and run for the RedHawks with Cal Elvers at the plate. He skied one to center field, sending both runners back to first and second respectively. Winkler that time sees a fastball. That's off the plate as well, moving the count to 3-1. Good count here for Kyle. So coming back out in Oxford. Get a little warmth every time that happens, as Winkler will dribble this one up the middle. The shortstop McCormick will flip on to the second baseman Rodriguez for the final out of the inning. So once again, Miami gets a base runner. Still no runs for them. They trail 2-0. We're on Red Hawk Radio.
Northern Illinois.
We're back to the top of the order as we return to Oxford. Miami and NIU in the top of the 5th inning. Tommy Shasney to lead things off for the Huskies. The third baseman for Northern Illinois held without a hit in his first 2 at-bats. He looks at a fastball beneath the zone that time from Jack Corbell. Corbell has already gone as long as yesterday's starters, Spencer Miraz, who went 4. Corbell is through 4, working into the 5th inning right now as he throws a fastball in there on the outside corner, strike 1. Comes the 1-1 from Corbell. Just a little bit low, 86. Tried to get him with the fastball again off the outside corner. Two one. Chesney thought about it, ultimately held up. It's in there for a strike anyway. 2-2 the count now after that 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Found the inside corner. Here's the 2-2. Corbell looking for the strikeout. He'll throw a fastball in there, and it's skied towards center field. Massman will take a couple steps back before grabbing that one for out number 1. These Miami outfielders, with the exception of McKay Williams, who made a diving catch in the second inning, haven't really had to move much. Lots of balls being lined right at him. through about an hour and 20 minutes here in Oxford in this ball game. About halfway through, sitting in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out. As Brennan Joyce steps to the plate, the first pitch he sees is a breaking ball that's a little too low from Jack Corbell. Corbell will work quickly and deliver his second pitch. This one finds the zone, a fastball at 90 miles an hour. And on the hands of Joyce, not much you can do with that pitch if he were to swing. Wisely holds up. He'll live to see another pitch. Here's the 1-1. This one's a tapper towards the third baseman. It actually goes off the ankle of Brendan Joyce. It went all the way to Jordan Stevens at third base. Stevens thought it was an actual hit in fair ground. He's about to come up and fire towards first. However, goes off the ankle of Brendan Joyce. Joyce kind of collapsing at home plate after that one. He's back standing now. Everyone will give him a moment to recapture his composure. Joyce not one of the many who wears an ankle brace on that front foot. Although Bennett and I talked about on Friday, my typical broadcast partner Bennett Wise, we talked about on Friday how those balls seem to elude wherever they have the ankle brace on, as Joyce grounds out to the second baseman Landon Stevens for out number 2. All those guys who wear ankle braces, whenever they hit one off their ankle, it always seems to be in a spot where the brace doesn't cover it. We saw more of that yesterday. Brady Feaster and I detailed that. Here comes Jake Dunham, try to rectify this situation. This inning, there is 2 outs, and he takes a big home run cut at that one. Comes up empty on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Corbell tempted him with a fastball up around the face area. He took a 500-foot dinger swing at that one. Unable to connect. Here's the 0-1. This one will go all the way to the backstop, as Dunham just able to elude getting hit there. Did a little dance move to escape there. That one initially looked like it got him, but he got out the way. However, is able to put some of his glove on it, but only deflect it rather than catch it. Dunham sitting with a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Corbell. 2 outs in the inning. It's a breaking ball beneath the zone at 76 miles per hour. Dunham, another one of these patient Northern Illinois hitters. 35 walks, only 29 strikeouts on the year, so a great ratio for him as he looks at another strike. 77-mile-an-hour curveball in there from Corbell. Another good pitch that you can't do much besides swing through or just roll over. He put that one on the outside corner and at the knees. Corbell readies for the 2-2 with 2 outs. He comes with a fastball this time at 92. Dunham able to spoil that one off towards the right side and out of play. Dunham still looking for his first hit of the afternoon. He's 0 for 2 on the day thus far. Corbell set. Here comes the pitch. This one just off the inside corner. Tried to paint the black with a fastball there and was unable to do it. 3-2 the count now with 2 outs. Corbell looking to replicate his first inning success when he went down 1-2-3. Here's a ground ball towards the left side. Stevens will field it, but in foul territory. Dunham will hold at home plate with a 3-2 count. Corbell had that perfect first inning, before running into trouble the last couple. Gave up a run in the second, a run in the third. Sent the Huskies back to the dugout with a 0 in the fourth, but did allow a base runner. No base runners so far in this inning. So he looks to avoid that with Dunham. Here's the full count pitch. This one is right down the middle, and Dunham knew it. He's rung up and starts his walk back to the dugout. Good pitch there, good breaking ball from Jack Corbell. Corbell with his second strikeout of the afternoon. And with 88 pitches through 5, he might get a chance to go back out there for the 6th and see if he can have the same type of performance Sam Bachman had on Friday night. Bachman went 6 scoreless innings. Corbell has given up those 2 runs, but has settled down nicely. 1-2-3 inning for the Miami right-hander. We're going to get a new pitcher here for the Northern Illinois Huskies, which is kind of surprising, given the day that Ryan Anderson has had. Anderson threw 62 pitches, given up 4 hits, 2 walks, but no runs, and he's made it through 4. Looks like the guy we're going to see is Nate Thomas, the junior right-hander. As Anderson's day is done, Thomas warming up on the mound out there. He'll get ready to face a couple of Miami right-handed hitters as well. Actually, the first 3 up for Miami will be right-handers. Landon Stevens to lead things off. Stevens, a 3-hole hitter, will be followed by Stevens. We always love that combination as broadcasters, especially on double play, the old Stevens to Stevens. Harrigan at first typically ruins that, but that's okay. You got to find a 3rd Stevens out here in Miami. I'm still very shocked that Ryan Anderson is not back out for his 5th inning of work. Although the bullpen for both Northern Illinois and Miami, neither bullpen has been very exhausted in this series thus far. We only needed 1 relief pitcher each in yesterday's ball game. Both bullpens relatively fresh. This will be the 19th ball game for Nate Thomas. He's gone 19 1/3 innings so far on the season, giving up 17 runs, 16 of those earned. His earned run average sits at 7.45, and he comes in with a 1-2 record. All of his appearances have been out of the pen, as is this one. He comes on to face Landon Stevens here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Righty versus righty matchup. We had the same thing with the starter, Ryan Anderson. Here's the pitch from Thomas. That one's an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, just a little bit low. Thomas dialing it up a little more than Ryan Anderson was able to on his first pitch. Anderson typically sitting at 84, 85, 86 with that fastball. On back-to-back pitches now, Nate Thomas has gone 89 and 91 respectively, as that second pitch is off the plate away. 2-0 count now to the RedHawks 3-hole hitter. Stevens ready in the box, Thomas ready on the mound. Here's the pitch. Stevens spoils that one back into the net behind home plate. We ramp it up by another 2 miles per hour as Thomas just seems to be getting loose. 93 that time. He's got a heater on him, that kid. Here's the 2-1 to Landon Stevens. Thomas with a slow, methodical windup. He deals that time. There's an 89-mile-an-hour fastball in at the knees for strike 2. So four pitches and 4 fastballs for the Husky right-hander out of the pen. He could go breaking ball here. He's got another pitch to mess around with at 2-2. Trying to strike out one of Miami's best hitters in Landon Stevens. He comes again with a fastball, this time at 94. That's the fastest pitch we've seen today. Stevens not fazed by it. He fouls it off towards the right side into the parking lot. We'll do the 2-2 again as both batter and pitcher are set. Thomas with the windup and the pitch. This one is tapped just a step in front of home plate. The catcher Dunham will take care of it. He'll fire on to Larson at first base. That's an easy out for Thomas. Stevens has got to be kicking himself there after he's barely able to make contact with the ball. Just a little dribbler a couple steps in front of home plate. Easy play for Dunham and the Huskies. So Jordan Stevens will be the batter now. Jordan is 1 for 1 on the day. Did draw a walk in his last at-bat as well. First pitch to him is just off the plate. He comes with another fastball, does Thomas, 91 miles an hour that time. We've yet to see a breaking ball from him. 1-0. That's another fastball in there at 90. This one's on the ground towards second base. He'll fire on to Larson at first, and that's the second out of the inning. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it for Nate Thomas. All fastballs here, going with the old Spencer Miraz routine as he retires the first two batters he faces. Cal Elvers will be the batter now. Elvers 0 for 2 on the day and has left a couple of Red Hawk runners on base. Miami's still searching for their first run of the ball game as Northern Illinois leads 2-0. Cal, as previously mentioned, leads Miami in home runs. He got hot a couple of weeks back and hit three dingers in 3 games, bringing his season total to 5. That's where it currently sits, as the first pitch he sees is actually a breaking ball, the first one from Thomas. It's in there for a called strike. Thomas able to put that one at the knees on the outside corner. Good take there by Cal as he swings on the second pitch and hits a little dribbler behind home plate. That'll go foul. Cal quickly down 0-2. Thomas sped him back up that time with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Cal unable to adjust a little late on that one. However, he was able to make contact and foul it off. Here's the 0-2. He's got to protect a little bit. Cal not choking up on the bat as he will take the 0-2 and foul it off towards the right side. Once again, another breaking ball from Thomas, the second one we've seen in this at-bat. Foul it off towards the right side, did Elvers. The 81-mile-an-hour fastball from Thomas. Miami looking to get something going here in the first inning of work for NIU relievers. Thomas the pitch. This one is on the ground towards the left side. It'll go foul, and Danny Hayden, the third base coach and Red Hawk skipper, makes a play on that one, flips it back towards the dugout. It's kind of funny the contrast between he and Justin Dedman, the first base coach and hitting coach for the Red Hawks. Hayden is down there in a coat, gloves, hat. He's all bundled up with temperatures in the low 50s and actually in the high 40s when this game started. Felt like 39 as Elvers takes a pitch in the dirt. 1-2 the count now to him. Dedman just wearing a long sleeve shirt under his jersey. No coat, no gloves. He's ready to go. Elvers to face the 1-2 pitch from Nate Thomas. Batter and pitcher set. Wind up and the pitch. This one a little check swing foul ball from Cal. He fouls it off towards the Northern Illinois dugout and will live to see another pitch. 1-2 the count remains. 2 outs in the inning. Thomas set down the first 2 batters he faces, and Cal Elvers trying to break that streak here. If we get that far, Colin Shepard will be the batter. He's on deck right now. Here's the 1-2 to Cal. Elvers takes for the second ball of the at-bat. 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball off the outside corner, that time from Nate Thomas. Runs the count even at 2-2. Thomas gets set, takes a breath, kicks and deals. Another check swing from Elvers that time. Home plate umpire Timothy Farwig says that 91-mile-an-hour fastball was off the outside corner. Elvers working the count full here against Nate Thomas. Nice battle here between the Red Hawk catcher and the Northern Illinois reliever. Here's the payoff pitch. This one once again fouled off as Elvers works himself deeper into the count and deeper into the at-bat against Thomas. We've seen a lot of good fastballs from Thomas in his 2/3 plus innings of work today. Came with a fastball there, and you got to think another 3-2 pitch. He'll come back with one here. Here it is. He does, 89 miles an hour. This one's on the ground towards the shortstop, McCormick. He'll fire on to first base, and the inning is over. So once again, another 0 for Miami. This time it's a Northern Illinois reliever as Nate Thomas comes on for the 1-2-3 inning. Miami still trailing 2-0. We're on Red Hawk Radio. Nick Drobasevich stepping in now as we open up the top of the 6th inning. The first pitch he sees from Jack Corbell is in there for a strike, 86 miles per hour. Danny Hayden sending his right-handed starter back out to the mound for his 6th inning of work. He's made it through 5 of only 2 earned runs. Corbell giving up runs, 1 run in the second, 1 run in the third. Other than that, it's been all zeros as Drobasevich takes the ball outside. That's ball 1. The 1-1 to him is again outside. He comes with the fastball once again, 3rd straight try. Can't get that plate with that one. Here's the 2-1 from Corbell. That one's in there for a strike. He came with the breaking ball that time, started it off the plate away and curved it back over to the outside corner, 73 miles an hour. Freezes Drobasevich. Here's the 2-2. Corbell bounces that one, a fastball. Backhanded by Cal Elvers. That runs the count full at 3-2. Drobasevich 0 for 2 on the day, but did reach via fielder's choice. He stole a base and later came around to score. He fouls this one back behind me, out of play. Currently sitting on the Hayden Park concourse towards the left of the press box. Still braving the elements out here, although it is getting warmer. Redhawks are hoping their bats get warm eventually as they currently are down 2-0 to Northern Illinois. Drobasevich works a walk there. Corbell missing with 3-2 curveball. And after a 1-2-3 last inning for Corbell, Northern Illinois gets their leadoff runner on. Cam Smith will be the batter now, and he's been the hottest hitter for Northern Illinois in this ballgame. He's 2 for 2 with a run scored and a run driven in. The Redhawks will converge on the mound. The infield and Matt Passor, the pitching coach, will talk to Corbell before Smith steps in. Like I said, Smith has been a problem today for the Redhawks. Miami looking for an answer. Hopefully the third time around. Now Smith in his third at bat, or stepping up for his third at bat. Drobosevich on first base. He's got decent speed, already stolen a bag today. Jordan Larson, the first baseman, waits on deck. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Corbell facing the righty Smith and then the righty Larson before the left-handed hitting center fielder Josh Mutter steps up. Mutter, one of 3 left-handed hitters in the Northern Illinois lineup. Miami also has 3 with Colin Shepard, McKay Williams, and Charlie Harrigan. Speaking of Charlie Harrigan, he'll receive a toss from Corbell. Checking on Drobosevich at first base. He's not going anywhere. He slides back in safely. Corbell will ready on the mound and deliver the first pitch to Cam Smith. Smith swings right through that one. Fastball at 84 on the outer third of the plate. Smith unable to catch up to it. Smith waving the bat around. 0-1 to him. That one's in there, a called strike. And so whatever the RedHawks and Matt Pastore talked about on the mound seems to be working so far in this at bat, as Corbell got Smith to swing through the first pitch, and then the second pitch on the inside corner froze him up. Smith down 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Tried to challenge him with a high fastball up around the chin. Smith not taking that one, not offering rather. 1-2 the count now. Corbell will stare down the batter, now deliver the 1-2. This one's on the ground towards the shortstop. Could be 2. He flips Landon Stevens for out number 1. He throws on the first 4, out number 2, and just like they drew it up, Cam Smith finally retired in this ball game. The Northern Illinois Husky was killing Miami so far in this game before that at-bat. Now he erases the base runner as Corbell gets him to bounce into a 6-4-3 double play. And Jordan Larson with 2 outs will bat. Mutter waiting on the on-deck circle. Like I said, the left-handed batter after the right-handed hitting Larson. This one is also on the ground to Colin Shepard. He'll field it and throw on to Harrigan, inning over. So after a shaky start, issuing the walk to Drobosevich, Corbell settles down and gets Smith to bounce into the double play. And Larson follows with a ground ball out to the shortstop. Easy inning after a rough start for Corbell. But so far, the story of this game has been the zeros on the board for Miami. Once again, not able to get anything going on the offensive end. Yesterday, we saw them go scoreless until the 6th when they finally struck for 3 runs. And then after that, were held scoreless for the rest of the way, only scoring those 3 runs in the ballgame. It's been a problem lately, just finding offensive consistency. I talked earlier in the broadcast about the struggles Miami has gone through. On paper, this is a series Miami should take care of, as Northern Illinois only comes in with a 12-28 record. Came into the series, not tonight, they come in to today with a 13-29 record, but they are 9-8 in the MAC after yesterday's win. Been playing better in conference, but however, they did struggle in non-conference play. Nate Thomas is going to come back out for his second inning of work. He was fantastic in his first, coming in, changing speeds, and really stepping up with his velocity from the starter Ryan Anderson. Thomas dialing it all the way up to 94-95 with his fastball as he finishes his warm-up tosses here. We're going to get started in just a moment with the bottom of the 6th inning. This was the inning yesterday where Miami got their 3 runs. However, it'll be a different cast of characters. To lead it off at the moment, it's Colin Shepard, the shortstop. Shepard did come on in yesterday's ball game, but it was for the injured Will Vogelsang in the last inning or 2. Vogelsang sitting out today. First pitch To Shepard is off the plate inside a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
It was so cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I should have gone in there. I forgot they have the heater.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Thomas will kick and deal. Here's another fastball. This one at 89, but it's up above the head of Shepard. Catcher Dunham really having to reach up there to grab that one and keep it from going to the backstop. Wouldn't have mattered even if it did, as there's no one on base. The leadoff hitter, Shepard, at the plate facing a 2-0 count against Nate Thomas. Thomas kicks and deals. This one's a high chopper towards second base. Coming on is Rodriguez. He'll make the play for out number 1. It was a close play at first base. Shepard hit that ball. A humongous hop. One hopper to the second baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez able to field it and fire a strike over to the first baseman, Larson, for the out. And there's one away. Parker Massman, the center fielder, coming on now. He's 0 for 2 on the day and has left 3 runners stranded out there on the base paths. Nobody's out there right now, so it shouldn't be an issue. He hits with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's first pitch swinging, grounds one to Shazny at third base. Shazny will fire on to first base. Larson catches it for an easy out. And once again, there are 2 away. So Nate Thomas coming out of the pen and really dealing thus far. He got in a battle with Cal Elvers that went about 10 pitches. However, he's only thrown 22 through his 1 2/3 innings of work now. He turns his attention to McKay Williams. McKay, one of 2 left-handed hitters Thomas has faced in this inning. He'll face another if McKay is able to get on base. Charlie Harrigan in the on-deck circle. McKay 1 for 2 on the day, looking for his second hit. Maybe trying to create a little 2-out rally for Miami as he takes a strike right down the middle on the first pitch. McKay taking a while to get back in the box. However, Nate Thomas is ready on the mound. He's saying, come on. He delivers the pitch. This one is fouled back into the netting behind home plate for strike 2. Williams quickly down in an 0-2 hole. And Thomas having a couple of pitches to play around with here. He's been very impressive. And like Kyle Seabach yesterday, we've just seen some electrical relievers out of this Northern Illinois pen. At least the way they've played in this series, they aren't really indicative of their 13-29 record. Play much better than that. Here comes McKay. He takes 4-1. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, can't find the zone. It's beneath the knees to run the count to 1-2. Miami had problems with this Northern Illinois team last year too, as in DeKalb, Illinois. Miami traveled there and lost that series. It was their only series loss last season. They're trying to avoid their second of the season here. Trying to keep that streak of just 1 series losses going. Williams fouls this one off to stay alive. It looks like got a piece of his ankle, or at least he kind of collapsed after connecting with that one. He sent a little trickler down to the first base coach, Justin Dedman. Danny Hayden is going to talk to the umpire and to McKay Williams. They'll send a trainer out to check on him. Miami doesn't want to deal with any more injuries at the moment. They were without Shane Smith during midweek play this week. He came back last night and had a sterling outing. He went 5 innings, only giving up 2 runs, both of them unearned. Just a fantastic outing for Smith. Vogelsang, he's out, at least for today. We saw him injured in yesterday's ball game. Christian Tejada has been back for this weekend, but he also missed midweek baseball and a little bit of last weekend. Danny Hayden really trying to rotate in players and make sure he keeps his guys healthy for the stretch run here. This is not the time to start playing bad baseball if you're Miami. Here's the 1-2 pitch to McKay Williams. He swings and he'll foul this one out of play off to the left side. staying alive. 1-2 count now. 2 outs in the inning.
That's him. His son worked for me.
Miami all season long, like many teams, has said their goal, their lone goal, is just to win that MAC championship. We are less than a month away from that championship tournament. It's almost just 3 weeks away as Nate Thomas delivers the 1-2. He bounces this one, an 83-mile-an-hour pitch in the dirt. Williams stays alive. 2-2 the count now with 2 outs. 2-2-2 up on the scoreboard with number 12 batting and Northern Illinois leading 2-0. Here in the bottom of the 6th, that kind of ruins that. A run of 2s. Here's Thomas, the 2-2.
There's not much to it.
Okay, working the count once again as he takes a 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the plate away. That shocks the count full at 3-2. We'll get a payoff pitch here with 2 outs. Charlie Harrigan will be the batter if McKay Williams is able to reach. Thomas will kick and deal for the payoff pitch. McKay will offer at it. He'll drive it down the left field line, quickly hooking foul, and it will get out of play. So like Cal Elver's last inning with 2 outs, really working the count, making Nate Thomas throw about 10 pitches. McKay Williams doing the same thing here as he's worked the count to 3-2 and fouled a couple off. After fouling one off his ankle earlier in the at-bat, he looks fine. RedHawks manager Danny Hayden and one of the trainers came out and checked on him. Said he's good to go. He's still in there facing Thomas. Here's the 3-2 once again. And after all of that, he bloops one into center field. That's a base hit. McKay on with his second hit of the day and a great at-bat from McKay Williams. Miami with a 2-out base runner as their 9-hole hitter Charlie Harrigan comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 on the day, still looking for that first hit. Probably won't see McKay Williams run in this at-bat. He's 3 for 4 on the year in stolen bases, and Miami does like to run, but odds are Charlie Harrigan is just left 2 hit away. Thomas will stare over at McKay Williams at first base before turning his attention back to Charlie Harrigan at the plate. Here's the first pitch to him. It's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that one-hops the catcher. Good scoop by Dunham. He corrals it and holds the runner at first base. Christian Sejado is 0 for 2 on the day, waiting in the on-deck circle. Unfortunately for Miami, when they get base runners, it seems to be with 2 outs. At least here in the last couple of innings. This one's on the ground towards the second baseman, Rodriguez. He'll pick it up and flip onto the first baseman, Larson, and the inning is over. Miami still trailing 2-0 through 6. They've been left with 5 hits, nothing to show for it, though, 0 runs. We'll be right back with the top of the 7th on Red Hawk Radio. We've got a new Red Hawk pitcher as we return in the top of the 7th inning. Tyler Bosma will come on, the left-handed freshman. This will be his 12th appearance. He sits at 2-1, 6.43 earned run average in 28 innings. He has allowed 23 runs, 20 of them earned. First pitch he throws is fouled off for strike one down the left field line. Josh Mutter, the center fielder, the batter. He's 1 for 1 on the day and has walked. His hit was a big one. It drove in one of the 2 runs for Northern Illinois. Here's Bosma's second pitch. He dials it up to 88, and this one is again fouled off towards the left side. Out of play. Bosma with a big 12-6 curveball. It's a check swing strike as Mutter runs down onto first base. Elvers will easily throw him out. That's a nasty out number 1 for Tyler Bosma as he comes on and retires Josh Mutter. That ball seemed to go from Mutter's waist into the dirt in absolutely no time. Alex Rodriguez, now the batter. He's 0 for 2. Bosma's first pitch to him is a one-hopper to the catcher. It's a fastball at 88 miles an hour. Kyle Elvers corrals that, throws it on back to him. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out with Rodriguez at the plate, working quickly as Bosma. Here's the second pitch. It's fouled down the right field line by Rodriguez for strike 1. Bosma taking his time after the foul ball. He will now pick and deliver. That's a fastball, and it's poked into right field for a base hit by Rodriguez. The throw from McKay Williams will actually go to first base, but Rodriguez is there in time. He beats it out for a single. Patty McCormick will be the batter now before the lineup turns over to Tommy Shasney. McCormick 0 for 1 on the day. He did walk in an earlier at-bat. Here's the first pitch to him. It gets away from the catcher, Cal Elvers, and Rodriguez will easily trot on to second base. He'll round that bag before deciding to hold up. It would be a curveball that got away from Bosma. He bounced it in the dirt, and it got away from Elvers as well. That's the first pitch to Patty McCormick. He took for ball 1. Patty waves the bat a couple of times, steps back in there. Bosma taking an extended look in at Cal Elvers for the sign. Small lead out there at second base for Alex Rodriguez. He's attempted 3 stolen, 8 stolen bases on the year, only converted on 3 of them. That is in limited action as he started 18 games. This is his 19th start in the 43rd game for Northern Illinois. Cal's going to go have a word with his young left-hander Tyler Bosma real quick. It's only a quick one as he'll return to his natural position behind the plate. 1-0 count now on Patty McCormick. Top of the lineup in Tommy Shasney, as mentioned, waiting in the on-deck circle. Bat resting on McCormick's shoulder. Here's the pitch. That one's taken an 80-mile-an-hour curveball, a little less break that time, not as much 12-6 action from Bosma. It's taken off the plate away. 2-0 the count. Infield all playing at normal depth with the exception of Jordan Stevens playing a step in front of the bag at third base. Bosma comes back with a fastball. That's beneath the knees. Runs the count to 3-0. And for the second time today, a Red Hawk pitcher is in jeopardy of walking Patty McCormick. McCormick came into this game hitting .070. Not exactly stellar. Not exactly a guy you want to walk if given the opportunity. Neither Bosma or Corbell necessarily going right at him. Finally, there's a get-me-over fastball at 86 miles an hour. That's right down Broadway as Kermit taking all the way. Looks at it for strike one. 3-1 the count to McCormick. Good hitters count for him. He's got Alex Rodriguez standing on second base with one out. Runner in scoring position. Good chance to play add-on. If you're Northern Illinois, this one will get into right field. That's down for a base hit. The runner at third base will hold. But Patty McCormick is on for the second time today with his first hit of the afternoon. And now it will only get worse for Bosma. He'll face another left-hander in Shazny. However, Shazny hitting .273 on the year coming into this game. Not the easiest out in the world, at least compared to Patty McCormick. Although he's proven to be a tough out in this ball game as well. One out in the inning. If you're Tyler Bosma and the rest of the RedHawks, you got to be thinking double play ball here. Trying to get Shazny to roll over on one. Runner at third base, a double play would not bring him home, but anything else pretty much would, as Shazny actually squares the bunt on the first pitch. He pulls it back as Bosma's throw is errant. Too high above the zone was that 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Infielders charging in with the pitch, ready for Shazny, and whatever he pulls off. Danny Hayden leaves the dugout. He's going to go out to the mound and talk to his left-hander. There is action in the Miami bullpen. Looks like nothing doing in the Northern Illinois bullpen. But Hayden out to talk strategy. Doesn't want this game to get out of hand. We saw Northern Illinois take a 4-0 lead yesterday. Miami able to battle back and put 3 on the board, making it 4-3. Northern Illinois then played add-on from there and put it out of reach 6-3 in the final inning. We're quickly approaching that here in the top of the 7th, 1 out. Northern Illinois still leading 2-0. Everyone will retreat to their normal positions. It seems like Danny Hayden and those guys finally have their plan in place. Count still 1-0 to Tommy Shazny. We'll see if he's still squaring the bunt as he did on the first pitch. He will not. He pulls it back to swing it, but holds up. Takes for strike one. Getting plenty of action here in his first season of collegiate baseball, trying to work out of a mini jam here. He throws a big curveball in there at 75 miles an hour. However, it misses outside the zone for ball 2. Kermit, although he hasn't been on base much, with his batting average under 100, he has 2 for 4 on the year in stolen bases. He's at first and can run a bit. Next pitch to Shazny is off the plate. Bosma tried to get him with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. It's too far outside as well. So that moves the count to a hitter-friendly 3-1. Bosma ready on the mound. Shazny steps back in. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Runner is going at first. They'll just let him go on. Pitches outside. Shazny worked a walk. Loading the bases up for Brendan Joyce. Joyce 1-for-3 on the day, no RBIs. This is single. His hit was just a lonely single. However, that would possibly break the game open for Northern Illinois here, scoring at least 1, maybe 2 if Patty McCormick can't come around from second base. We'll see if Bosma is left in the game to deal with Joyce. It looks like he will be. Action is ramping up in the Miami bullpen. Looks like down there it is Cole Gannett's warming up, the right-hander. First pitch from Bosma to Joyce is just a little bit low, 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Bosma's got two variations of that breaking ball. He's got one that just curves a little bit and has a little side-to-side movement. Not much drop, and then he's got one that just falls off the table. We saw that to get the only out of this inning so far. He retired Josh Mutter on that 12-6. The throw back to Bosma after ball 2 gets away. However, Landon Stevens is there behind the pitcher to stop it and avoid the runners from going anywhere. It's the things like that, that especially yesterday we saw harm the RedHawks. They had 3 errors, and they all proved costly. Danny Hayden's not going to be satisfied with the defensive effort he's seen in this series. We actually saw a pretty good night of defense on Friday, but the last 2 games have been less than stellar. Not an error so far in this game, however, little throws like that, little misjudgments have led to Miami trailing once again. Bosma unable to find the strike zone with his 3rd pitch. He's quickly down 3-0 and is in jeopardy of walking in a run if he can't find the strike zone here to Brennan Joyce. He does finally. 88-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. 3-1 the count. Still a dangerous count if you're Tyler Bosma. You want to throw one in the zone, not walk in a run, but you also don't want to give Joyce something he can drive into the power alley for 3 runs. Joyce with a big swing at that one. Fouled it off the catcher Cal Elvers, and Bosma's able to work back to a full count. Bases full, Bosma could go from the windup. He's still working from the stretch, though. Infield at normal depth, except at the corners. They're in just a little bit as Brendan Joyce spoils the 3-2 pitch. Foul off to the right side and out of play. Bosma adding a little extra mustard on that one, 91 miles an hour. That's the quickest pitch we've seen from him. We've seen him dabble around 87, 88 with that fastball, getting an extra 3-4 miles an hour on the latest one, up to 91. Here's the 3-2. We'll try it again. This one's on the ground towards third base. Could be 2, and Jordan Stevens bobbles it. Everyone's going to be safe, and the run comes home. Jordan Stevens is kicking himself a little bit after that one. The run comes in, and the RedHawks go without an out. They're going to give Stevens an error for that. The official ruling. It's an unearned run for Tyler Bosma, but however, still a 3-0 lead now for Northern Illinois. They play a little bit of add-on, tack on one more, and have a chance to add even more. Jake Dunham, the catcher, steps up. Still bases loaded, still 1 out. There's a strike from Tyler Bosma on the first pitch, 88 miles an hour. It's so important, especially when you're a young pitcher, to really get ahead in the count and come at hitters rather than being passive and letting them dictate what you do. You want to be able to get into your rhythm and dictate the count, dictate what type of pitches you want to throw. There's a big 12-6 curveball that doesn't find the zone. Look good from here. A couple of RedHawk fans voicing their displeasure with home plate umpire Timothy Farwig's ruling. 1-1 the count. Bosma, after getting behind hitters, as he's done in this inning, we've seen him forced to throw nothing but fastballs late in the count. That's not his bread and butter. His bread and butter is that big 12-6 curveball they just demonstrated. 1-1 the count. This one is pulled down the line. It goes off Jordan Stevens' glove again into left field. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. He's in standing. And Dunham has just officially blown this game wide open. 5-0 Northern Illinois leads after a hot shot goes off Jordan Stevens' glove. see what they rule this. It's probably going to be a base hit for Dunham. That was a very hard hit ball, and it was just a one-hopper down to Jordan Stevens, a screamer of such. Yeah, they're going to rule it a single. So Stevens avoids his second error in as many at-bats. Damage still done, though. Huskies lead 5-0 on 8 hits. And this inning is not over. There's only one out as Drobasevich comes to the plate. Runners on first and second. Northern Illinois still threatening. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch. It's on the outside corner. 88-mile-an-hour fastball that time from Tyler Bosma. Bosma getting ahead of a Husky hitter. Unable to do that early in the inning. Now has done it to back-to-back hitters, but it didn't matter against Dunham. He singles in 2 runs as Bosma comes back with a big bender. That misses. 1-1 the count now. Tried to drop it in there. Unable to do it against Drobasevich. The 1-1 from Bosma. Big swing and a miss from Drobasevich. Tried to kill that 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Bosma. Came up empty. 1-2 the count now. A strikeout here would be huge for the young left-hander's confidence. Double play would be even bigger for Miami. Get him out of this inning as quickly as possible. Northern Illinois has already scored 3 times.
Yeah.
Still threatening for more as Bosma readies and delivers the 1-2. And Drobasevich is rung up. He's set down on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Bosma, right on the outside corner. That's out number 2 in the inning, both of them coming on strikeouts. Good pitch there, gets Drobasevich looking, and here comes Danny Hayden. He'll probably make a move with the right-handed hitting Cam Smith coming to the plate. That finishes warm-up tosses. It looks like Bosma will hand the ball to Danny Hayden, and here comes Colganetz. And that's running in. He's a senior right-hander. This will be his 11th appearance of the year, all of them in relief. He's currently sporting a 1.42 earned run average and a 1-0 record. He's pitched 12 2/3 innings, given up only 2 runs, both of them earned. He has an all-right strikeout to walk ratio of 22-13. And that has good stuff. He'll run it up into the low 90s. Kind of similar to Tyler Bosma, just the right-handed version of that. As he also has a good breaking ball. He really uses it as a strikeout pitch. And that's what we'll try to limit the damage here with 2 outs. This game quickly fading and quickly getting away from the RedHawks as they've allowed 3 in this inning, allowing their deficit to go from 2-0 at the start of the inning to now 5-0. Miami only 3 more at-bats to get back in this one. We're almost seeing a repeat of yesterday's game where the pitching for Miami not bad, but not good enough to hold them in the game. When you score 0 runs, it's tough for any pitching to keep you in the game. You got to be absolutely perfect, and even then you still need run support. Miami has not been able to provide it. And with a couple of fielding errors in this inning, only one actually ruled an error by Jordan Stevens, and then another one that went off his glove, a hot shot, ruled a single in the left field. Each brought runs across. That's will finish his warm-up tosses, and Cam Smith will officially be introduced as the batter. Smith 2 for 3 on the day. He was the hottest hitter in this lineup early in the game. Singled in his first at-bat, came around, scored a run, and then hit a RBI triple in his second at-bat, driving in a run. Last time up, he grounded into a double play. That was the first time Miami was able to figure him out. First pitch he sees, he goes around on a check swing. 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Gannett's that time. Fooled Smith badly. Got him to offer at something in the dirt, or at least half-heartedly offer. Miami not holding either of the runners on. There's runners that are at second and third. Joyce is at second. Dunham is at first. Second and first, not second and third. Second pitch to Smith is off the plate inside. Gannett's tried to come back with a fastball. Wasn't able to put it across. Jordan Larson, the first baseman, waiting on deck. Cam Smith. He clubs this one into the left center field gap. The left fielder Winkler going over. He's under it, and he'll catch it for out number 3. But once again, I feel like I've said this multiple times during this game, the damage was done for NIU and for Miami. NIU plays add-on. Tacks on 3 runs in the inning, extending their lead to 5-0. Miami quickly running out of time to get back in this one. We'll see the top of the lineup when Miami does get the chance to respond here in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Christian Tejada. Be interesting to see what Northern Illinois does for their pitching situation. Nate Thomas has gone the last 2 innings and has been almost perfect. Did give up a hit, but besides that has not run into any trouble. 33 pitches, hasn't struck out a batter, but hasn't walked one either. No runs allowed, of course. Miami unable to get runs off of the starter, Ryan Anderson, either. He went 4 innings. I was kind of surprised when they took him out after only 4. He only threw 62 pitches. He gave up 4 hits, 2 walks, no runs. Nice solid day for him as well. Jack Corbell went 6 innings for the RedHawks. 100 pitches exactly. 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. And 3 walks with 2 strikeouts. Tyler Bosma came on, pitched 2/3 of an inning, and had 30 pitches. He gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. One of the other ones coming via the error by Jordan Stevens, the third baseman. Bosma did walk a guy as well and struck out 2. Both the outs he got were via the strikeout. And Cole Gannett's came on to record a 3-pitch fly out to left field. That was the final out of the inning, and that's where we currently stand. It'll be Nate Thomas once again. He'll finish his warm-up tosses and will face Christian Tejada. We'll see what Tejada has to offer after he has not had a hit so far in this game. These 2 teams today combining for 13 hits so far, but all of 2 of them have been singles. Miami had a double earlier in the game, and as we mentioned just a minute ago, Cam Smith had that RBI triple for NIU as the first pitch Tejada sees is below the knees for a ball. 89 miles an hour on the fast time, that time from Thomas. This one is fouled back over the netting behind home plate and out of play, evening the count at 1-1. 91 on the gun that time from Thomas. With the exception of facing Cal Elvers 2 innings ago, we have not seen many breaking balls from Thomas. He went and fed Elvers a steady diet in that at bat. Here's a fly ball to right field. Cam Smith tracking. He's under it, not moving much from where he started. And he'll take care of it for out number 1. Kyle Winkler will be the batter now, the 2-hole hitter for Miami. 0 for 3 on the day, still looking for his first hit, as was Tejada. Tejada held without it. We'll see if Nate Thomas is able to retire Winkler as well, or if Winkler will finally be able to put a check in the hit category on the scorebook. First pitch to Winkler is fouled off. Fouled tip for strike 1. As usual, Nate Thomas pounding the zone with the fastball. He's been very impressive so far today. I've been impressed both of the last 2 days with Kyle Seabach and now Nate Thomas out of that pen. Here's the 0-1. This one is fouled off towards the right side and out of play in that parking lot off the right field side of Hayden Park. Winkler quickly dealing with an 0-2 count. He has not struck out yet today, but he's in jeopardy of it happening right now. Nate Thomas likes the sign. He nods his head yes and gets set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Winkler. He's set down on strikes. That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. Winkler went fishing. He went chasing for it, and he didn't get anything. Here comes Landon Stevens with 2 outs. He'll try to get something going. Stevens 2 for 3 on the day. He's one of 2 Miami hitters with 2 hits, the other being McKay Williams. Those 2 guys combining for 4 of Miami's 5 hits. The only other guy with a hit is the guy waiting on the on-deck circle, Jordan Stevens. Here's the first pitch to Landon Stevens. That one's below the knees, 89-mile-an-hour fastball that can't find the zone. The plate umpire Timothy Farwig says bring it up a little bit to Nate Thomas. Batter and pitcher are set. Here is the windup and the pitch. That one's low as well, 90 miles an hour on the gun that time. Once again, Thomas unable to find the zone. Landon Stevens draws an awful amount of walks. An awfully high amount of walks, rather. 27 on the year, but also strikes out a decent amount at 38 Ks. He swings and misses on that one, running the count to 2-1. Thomas ready on the mound. He'll deliver the 2-1. Here we go. Stevens not giving chase to that one. Thomas tried to tempt him with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball up around his eyes and out over the plate. Stevens taking all the way that time, not fooled. 3-1 the count now, 2 down in the inning. Thomas looking for his 3rd straight. Very, very good inning of work. This one will go down 1-2-3 if he's able to retire Stevens. He is not, as he throws beneath the zone. You walked him. So Jordan Stevens will come to the plate now. As mentioned, he can join the club of McKay Williams and Landon Stevens if he's able to get his 2nd hit of the ball game today. Those 3 guys, 2 of them, Landon Stevens being, and McKay Williams are in the 2-hit club. Jordan can join right now. He's walked on the day as well. Landon with a small lead down there at first base. Here's the pitch from Nate Thomas. There's a strike to Jordan Stevens. Fastball on the inside corner, 88 miles an hour. Thomas has a decently slow windup when he's actually in the full windup. From the stretch, it's just this quick slide step that he's delivering. It'd be tough to steal on if you're Landon Stevens. Here's the 0-1. That one's upstairs and outside to Jordan. 89-mile-an-hour fastball that time. The 1-1 pitch. This one is swung on and fouled out of play. That one going behind the protective netting behind home plate. Jordan Stevens taking a big cut at that one, but is unable to straighten it out and put it in fair play. He'll look to do that here with 2 strikes. Going to have to choke up a little bit, and he will. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base. Miami still down 5-0. Looking for any momentum they can get. Landon Stevens' walk in the previous at-bat might have been that momentum. Let's see if Jordan Stevens can string something together here. That pitch is beneath the zone, a 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball, trying to get Jordan Stevens to chase. He does not. 2-2 with 2 outs. Stevens swings at that one. It's a little dribbler out in front of home plate. Miscommunication between pitcher and catcher. We'll see who takes it. It's going to be the catcher or the pitcher Thomas. He'll throw on to first base for the out. Bang bang play at first base, but once again the result is the same. 4 up and 3 down for Miami. That runner, Landon Stevens, who got on base, not able to go anywhere, not able to come around either. 5-0 NIU leads on Red Hawk Radio. Back at the top of the 8th inning, Jordan Larson will be the batter for NIU, and Cole Ganetz, after getting the final out of the top of the 7th, he'll stay in for the top of the 8th to face Larson. Righty pitcher versus righty batter. Here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball, 79 miles an hour. He gets that one over, does Ganetz, for strike 1. That's working behind a 5-0 deficit Miami is facing. He gets Larson to swing through an 89-mile-an-hour fastball there for strike 2, so down quickly. 0-2 is Jordan Larson. Larson waves the bat. Here comes the kick and deal from Ganetz. This pitch is in the dirt. Larson goes, and he'll throw down to first base. Elvers does. Harrigan comes off the bag to receive the throw, and it is not in time. He's not able to get back on the bag to get Larson. And so even with the strikeout, Larson reaches first base, and through nefarious means here, I guess, NIU has their leadoff runner on. Josh Mutter, the batter, now the lefty. And that's comes with the heat that time. Misses off the outside corner for ball 1. Larson, a decent-sized lead down there at first base. Ganetz would love to throw a sinker ball here and have Mutter roll into a double play. 86 miles an hour on the gun that time, but he misses just a little bit low. Trying to keep that ball down around the knees. Trying to induce that double play. Hasn't worked so far as he's missed both times. Mutter not giving chase. Here's the 2-0. Once again at the knees. That one finds the zone at 91 miles per hour. Mutter just watching it go by. Ganetz throws the 2-1. This is a breaking ball that time. He goes upstairs in the zone and gets it over anyway. 78 miles an hour. Can knock the count at 2-2. Mutter 1-for-1 or 1-for-2 on the day, excuse me. Already has one RBI, looking for his second here. He hits one in the right field. That's a base hit. Larson will hold up at second base. And Gannett's like Bosma in the last inning, running into trouble. Alex Rodriguez will be the batter. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Scored a run in that last inning. Not a huge threat at the plate as he came in to today's game hitting under 200, but as both he and Patty McCormick, a guy who came in to this game hitting under 100 and had an RBI single, he just had a single last at bat. Both guys, regardless of what they come in hitting, are dangerous. Rodriguez ready in the box. Colganet's looking in for the sign. He's got a bent over Craig Kimbrell type of wait or looking for the sign. This one's bunted down to Colganet's. Ganetz throws to third base, and the throw will get away from Jordan Stevens. Here comes Larson towards home. He's going to get there standing up, and another error for Miami. Colganet's tried to get the lead runner at third base on the bunt. Unable to do it, and all runners are safe. Still no outs in the inning. It's going to be officially ruled an error on Colganet's on the throw. And runners will remain at first and second. Actually, runners will go to second and third. Bottom of the lineup, Patty McCormick steps to the plate now. So now NIU gets their 6th run of the ballgame. That equals their total from yesterday. Their 6-3 victory. Miami is still unable to find the scoreboard. Nothing but zeros through 7 frames for them. Here's the first pitch to McCormick. It's a breaking ball that cannot find the zone. That throw almost gets away from Elvers. Both the second baseman Stevens and the shortstop Colin Shepard immediately breaking for the second base bag, trying to retrieve that throw. And that's able to corral it anyway. Here's the 1-0. That one's in there for a strike, and once again it gets away from the catcher Elvers. Just gets away a couple feet though as all runners hold. 1-1 the count to McCormick. With Gannett's charging towards home, he and Elvers will have a word around home plate. If I'm Elvers, I'm just telling him settle down, it's going to be okay. We're not having the chance to come back at the moment anyway. You got to wait until the offense gets around, so let's just get out of this inning and give them a chance. Still nobody out as runners are on second and third. 1 run already home in the top of the lineup. Tommy Shasney coming up next batter. Before then, Patty McCormick will get his chance. He currently sits with a 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He'll try to bunt too. And the runner was going. There's a pickle in between between third and home. Mutter will be tagged out by Elvers for the first out of the inning. So finally an out for Miami, even if it comes through untraditional means. McCormick now with 2 strikes and only a runner on second base will probably be swinging away. Miami getting lucky there, avoiding what could have been even more trouble if he was able to connect. That would have brought home another run on a suicide squeeze bunt. McCormick unable to connect there. This time he takes a very tough pitch to just look at. 78 miles an hour off the outside corner, but it was darn close from Colganett. Gannett's will deliver the 2-2. This time it's in there as he rings up Patty McCormick for the second out of the inning. So not 1 but 2 outs in that at bat as they get the out in the pickle. And then McCormick strikes out. Tommy Shasney comes up with 2 outs now. Rodriguez still out there on second base. A small lead for him, but Colganetz will step off the mound, give him a look. That's back set on the mound. Batter in the box is ready. First pitch to him is in the dirt, 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Cal able to smother it. Rodriguez at second base going nowhere. He retreats to the bag. We're through 2.5 hours in this one. Game started at 1 o'clock, now at 3:36. As the second pitch to Chasney finds the zone. Backdoored him there with a breaking ball, started it off the plate away and caught the outside corner after it curved back. And won the count. And that's missing again with the breaking ball. He goes low this time in the dirt. Chasney still looking for his first hit on the day. He did walk earlier in the ballgame and scored a run. Hit here would have the potential, if it goes to the outfield, to bring in Alex Rodriguez from second base. Rodriguez runs decently well. Here's Gannetz's 2-1. This one again is in the dirt with the breaking ball. Nothing but benders from Cole Gannetz in this at-bat. Now with 3-1, a good hitter's count, you got to think he comes to the fastball here, or at least tries to put a breaking ball in the zone. Doesn't have any more pitches to play around with. Chasney waves the bat a couple times and steps in. Here's the 3-1. This one is upstairs and away. He walked him. Chasney will trot on down to first base with a base on balls, and with 2 outs, the inning will still continue. Brendan Joyce, the next hitter, comes to the plate.
The left fielder, Brendan Joyce.
Joyce 1 for 4 on the day. This is already his 5th at bat. Runners on first and second. Cole Gannetz will look at both. He'll double take and step off the mound after looking at Alex Rodriguez, who does not retreat to the bag. Gannetz will stare him down. Gannetz, the originator of that hot soup line that we've been talking about pretty much every broadcast. Whenever there's a hard line drive towards either dugout, the entire Miami bench yells hot soup. Gannetz comes with the breaking ball there. He misses off the plate away. Catcher Dunham on deck. If we get that far, he will come to the plate. Joyce has got to do something and get on base first. Here's the 2-0 to him. Excuse me, the 1-0. Now it goes to 2-0 after Gannetz misses with another breaking ball. He's throwing more breaking balls in this inning than fastballs, and for a guy who like Cole Gannetz, who can throw it up to 92, 93 miles per hour, I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. Here's the pitch. That one's inside as well. So Cole Gannetz struggling to find the zone here, displaying some control problems. Count moves to 3-0 for the second consecutive batter. Last one, Chasney. Worked the count to 3-1 before finally getting a walk in. Now a 4-pitch walk is issued to Joyce. Loading the bases, Cole Gannetz once again struggling, and Matt Pastor, the pitching coach, will go out and have a chat with him. Infield will converge on the mound as Jake Dunham will come to the plate. Dunham 1 for 4 on the day, but does have 2 RBIs. He's driven in 2 of the 6 NIU runs. After him, if we get that far, it'll be Nick Drubasevich. The good thing for Cole Gannetz is he does have 2 outs. And now there's a play at any base, so maybe that walk isn't a terrible thing, but still, with the 3-hole hitter of NIU coming up, you don't really want to deal with him too much. You don't want to give him anything to play around with, and the same thing goes for the cleanup hitter, Drubasevich. You could say the same exact thing for the 5-hole hitter, Cam Smith, who has 2 hits on the day, one of them being a triple into the right center field gap. Everyone will retreat to their normal positions, breaking up the conference, and Gannetz will deliver his first pitch to Dunham. This one's in there. He comes back with a fastball. I'm sure after the steady diet of breaking balls that Cole Gannetz has thrown in this inning, Matt Pastor told him he needs to get back with the heater. Did that on the first pitch, and this time he comes back with a breaking ball. 79 miles an hour. He's off the plate away and a little bit low, evening the count at 1-1. Infield and outfield all at normal depth and position for Miami. Just trying to get out of this inning. Colganets can't do it against Dunham here. 1-1 count. Ganets can't find the zone. Another breaking ball. That one low and away once again. That's where he's missing every single time. He's missing down, which isn't a bad thing. If you want to miss, that's where you want to miss. You don't want to leave, especially breaking balls elevated up in the zone, but eventually you've got to start pounding that strike zone to get out. Northern Illinois has not chased so far in this inning as Dunham fouls that one off towards the right side, now to play, following an 87-mile-an-hour fastball from Ganets. 2-2 the count now with 2 outs. Wind picking up here in Oxford. Some overcast, but the sun is out, and it looks here to stay, at least for the time being. It's been out for several minutes now. Here's the 2-2. That one almost plunked Dunham. Breaking ball off the inside corner. Running the count full. So here's the payoff pitch. Northern Illinois leading 6-0. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Bases are loaded to the 3-hole hitter Jake Dunham, and he walked him again. That'll bring in a run. The 7th for NIU, and this game is quickly getting out of hand with NIU tacking on 5 runs in the last 2 innings, and this inning is not over as the cleanup hitter Drobashev comes to the plate. Drobasevich, excuse me.
The designated hitter, Nick Drobashev.
First pitch to him is in there for a called strike, 87-mile-an-hour fastball, painting the black of the outside corner. Dunham at first base, Joyce at second, Shazny at third. NIU looking to continue piling on runs as Drobasevich fouls this one off his foot for strike 2. So Colganet's finally working ahead, 0-2 count now. Has a couple pitches to play around with, trying to retire the cleanup hitter for Northern Illinois. Cam Smith waiting on deck. Cal Elvers with 2 strikes will go out and talk to Colganets. Elvers just making sure they're on the same page with what they want to do. This 2-strike pitch. That's about to cross the 30-pitch mark in this inning. Only 3 after getting 1 out last inning. Here's the 0-2. It's a fastball off the outside corner, 89 miles per hour. Running into control problems in this inning has Ganets. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. As he misses again with an high 80 mile per hour fastball. Two and 2 count now to Nick Drobasevich. Drobasevich waves the bat a couple of times. Here's the pitch from Ganets. That one misses again. 3rd straight pitch that misses off the outside corner from Cole Ganets. After 2 consecutive fastballs, that time he tried to get Drobasevich to chase with the breaking ball, was unsuccessful, moving the count to 3-2. There is action in the Miami bullpen. Nobody in NIU's bullpen, but you got to think this might be the end if Colganets is not able to get Drobasevich. He fouls one off there towards the first baseline and foul. 0-2 count. If I'm Colganetz, I'm throwing a fastball here. That's what he's been able to spot better. Breaking ball has been unsuccessful in this inning. He does throw a fastball. This one is slapped foul down the left field line. Hot soup towards the Hayden Baseball Center. As it goes right over Miami's dugout. Drobasevich will live to see another pitch. 3-2. We'll do a third consecutive payoff pitch here. Here's Ganetz, the windup and the pitch. The runners aren't moving. It's a single into right field. That'll bring home another run. Here comes the second run. The throw will not go home. It'll go towards third, and that runner is safe too. So Nick Drobasevich driving in 2 runs and blowing this game even more wide open. Maybe putting it out of reach if you're Miami. Miami with only 2 more at-bats to get 9 runs now. That's where NIU's total sits after that 2-run single, and Danny Hayden will come out. Looks like he'll make a move to the bullpen and replace Colganetz. And that's after coming on and being successful, getting the final out of the last inning. Has thrown up over 40 pitches in this inning. He's given up 4 runs. They will bring on a new pitcher. It's going to be the senior left-hander, John Meyering. Meyering, this will be his 10th appearance overall, his 9th out of the bullpen. 5.11 earned run average, 1-1 in his decisions. He's pitched 12 1/3, typically a left-handed specialist, but can deal with righties too. We're going to see him face the righty Smith, the righty Larson, and after that, finally a lefty, Mutter. At this point, it's just who can get me through the rest of the game if you're Danny Hayden. Hayden just looking for someone to finish this out. RedHawks looking more and more likely to be falling for the second straight series. They haven't done that in a couple of years, as last year they only lost 1 weekend series, doing the same this year. They lost last weekend to Ball State, now look to be on the verge of their second straight. We've seen bigger things happen than a 9-0 comeback, but it looks improbable with the way the Miami bats have gone silent in this one. 5 hits, but no runs for Miami. Conversely, 9 runs on 10 hits for NIU. Miami has given NIU a couple of breaks, 3 errors, while the Huskies have not done anything like that for Miami. 0 errors for them. Cam Smith, the batter, he's 2 for 4 on the day with an RBI and a run scored. He's got 2 more guys out there on the pond to drive in if he's able to get a hit. 1 runner on first, 1 on third. As this inning continues with a new pitcher, Meyering. His first pitch is line down the right field line, almost into the NIU bullpen. That's foul ball for strike 1. Smith reached in each of his first 2 at-bats, but has been retired in each of his last 2. A hit here would push NIU's lead to double digits as he takes a fastball up and outstairs. 89 miles an hour on the gun that time from Meyering. Myering's fastball will sit right in that range, 88, 89 miles per hour, and he'll also give hitters a curveball in the high 70s. He throws it there all the way down to 75 miles an hour on the scoreboard gun. 2-1 the count after that one missed just a little bit high. Pitch from Meyering. He goes back with the fastball here, but misses inside. Smith taking all the way on that one. 87 on the gun from Meyering. 3-1 the count now with 2 outs. So once again, another RedHawk pitcher falling behind another another NIU batter. 3-1 friendly hitters count for Smith. Here's the 3-1. That one's in there for a strike. That moves the count to full. Up and the payoff pitch. This one is fouled off towards the right side. We'll try it again on the next pitch. And he walked him again. That's another walk issued by Red Hawk pitchers. It's the 8th one today. The first for Myring, and the first batter he faces. He'll face Jordan Larson now, the first baseman, who's 1 for 4. Larson has not driven in a run, but has an opportunity here with the bases loaded. However, he has scored a run. At this point, all but 2 NIU hitters have scored runs. The only ones not being able to do that are Dunham and Mutter. As Myring misses the zone with his first pitch. Dunham is on third base, so one more guy in that category will be erased with a hit by Jordan Larson. Here's the 1-0. He missed downstairs again, that time coming with a fastball, 84. It took a little bit off that one, but was still unable to find the zone. Miami defense playing straight up as Myring faces Larson. Here's the 2-0. He missed again, in trouble of walking him. 3-0 the count now. Larson will probably be taking all the way, and Myring should probably throw a get-me-in fastball. We'll see if that is the move. It is indeed, as he throws one right down Broadway for strike 1. Myring gets set on the mound. So deal, and he walked another NIU batter. That'll bring in the 5th run of the inning for NIU, and it's now 10-0. They push their lead to double digits, and even their amount of runs and hits at 10. 2 outs still in the inning. If you're Danny Hayden, you just got to be shaking your head. He thought he got rid of the control problems of Colganets by removing him 2 batters ago, and in the first 2 batters John Myring, the new pitcher, has faced, he's walked both of them. So here's the lefty Mutter. He's 2 for 3 on the day, has driven in a run, and has also walked. Here's a wild pitch that'll bring in another run. That's the 11th for NIU. All runners will move up 1 base, as runners will take second and third. Ball 1-2 Mutter.
Miami the red team? What? Miami is the red.
Myring throws too high there, as that moves the count to 2-1.
Did we get autographs today? No, that was yesterday. What? But we get to go on the field, play catch up the Miami players, run around the bases. And like the winners, or just the Miami?
First base umpire Jeffrey Spizak talking to
Just the Miami. I wish it was the winners.
someone on the NIU coaching staff. Not sure what the dispute is here, but they are chatting as Myring will throw a couple of warm-up tosses into Cal Elvers.
Let's keep doing this. Let's see how
Not sure what the problem is, but the appeal, whatever it was unsuccessful, as nothing changes. 2-0 the count now to Mutter. Myring gets set lefty versus lefty matchup. The plate umpire Timothy Farwick puts the ball back in play, and we will move on. Third straight pitch, even after a little pause by Myring, is in the dirt. 3-0 count now with 2 outs. He has an open base now at first base. Won't walk in another run, but he's already walked the first 2 batters he's faced. Here's another pitch. That one is right down the middle at 87 miles per hour. Nice little fastball there from Myring to finally get a strike on Mutter. 3-1 the count. Mutter waves the bat a couple of times. He's set. Here comes the pitch from Myring. That's another fastball, same exact spot. Mutter taking all the way. 87-mile-an-hour strike to move it to 3-2. Two outs could be the final payoff pitch of the inning. Here we go with Meyering. This one is spoiled off and out of play towards the left side by Mutter. We'll get another chance. Game quickly approaching the 3-hour mark in an inning that has lasted almost a half an hour as Mutter is finally retired. Meyering blows the fastball by him, but not before the damage is done. Northern Illinois more than doubles their lead with a 6-run inning. They came in leading 5-0, now lead at 11-0 on 10 hits, no errors. Miami still with a big goose egg in the run column on 5 hits. They've got 2 more frames to get it done. We'll see if Nate Thomas, who has shut Miami down through 3 innings of work, comes back on the mound. It looks like he will. He's thrown 49 pitches so far, only given up 1 hit and 1 walk. Struck out 1 batter, but has not given up a run. Neither did Ryan Anderson, the starter for the Huskies. Talked on Friday about a possible return to normalcy with that 12-0 win for Miami. The usual cast of characters was back in the lineup. We've seen the lineup remain pretty much the same over the past couple of days, with the exception of Colin Shepard replacing Will Vogelsang, the injured Will Vogelsang, at shortstop. But that return to normalcy proved to be a false one as Miami struggled through a 6-3 defeat yesterday. Unable to get the bats going with the exception of the bottom of the 6th inning. Other than that, they were held scoreless. And through 7 today, Miami once again without a run. They're looking to change that. Cal Elvers will be the first one to get a crack at it here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Elvers held hitless on the day, as many of the RedHawks are. Only 3 RedHawks with hits. Both Stevenses and Williams. McKay will face Nate Thomas. Here's the first pitch to him. That one's in there for a called strike at the knees. 89 miles an hour on the gun. The 0-1 is also in there. Thomas ramping up the velocity to 91 miles an hour that time and getting one across on the outside corner for strike 2. Cal not moving the bat off his shoulder on the first 2 pitches. He's going to have to now. This time protecting the plate, swings and gets one up the middle. That's a base hit on the ground. Over starts off the inning on a positive note for Miami, getting the leadoff hitter on. That'll bring Colin Shepard, the shortstop, to the plate. Shepard 0 for 2 on the day, has worked a walk. And would love to do something like that once again, giving Miami some more momentum and possibly getting this offensive effort straightened out. Good start from Cal Elvers, getting leadoff hitter on. He'll actually be replaced by Nick Stringer, the speedy reserve outfielder coming on to pinch run. So Elvers' day is done. We'll presumably see either Nate Stoles or Cole Andrews come on and catch the final frame for Miami defensively. We'll have to wait and see when we get there. Here comes Colin Shepard. First pitch he sees is off the plate away, a ball at 88 miles an hour. Stringer not going anywhere on that first pitch. Second pitch to Shepard is way inside. A little bit of a fastball that got away from Thomas there at 89 miles per hour. Collins upstairs as well, pushing things up to 3-0.
I know.
Nate Thomas, after issuing only one walk in his first 3 innings of work, now in jeopardy of walking his second batter. Parker Massman on deck. We will see him in this inning. There's ball 4 to Colin Shepard. He'll toss his bat aside and walk on down to first base. Parker Massman will come up with 2 runners on. Stringer on second, Shepard on first. Good speed on the base paths for Miami. Parker Massman also looking for his first hit today. If he's able to come through, it would be a big one. Miami looking to start the comeback efforts. Better late than never, right? As NIU will converge on the mound. There is action in the Husky bullpen. A couple of guys up and stretching in there. Thomas maybe not being trusted to finish this one out. He'll be left in for the time being, however, as everyone will retreat back to their normal position. First pitch to Massman is upstairs the ball at 88 miles an hour. Thomas not being able to throw a strike, hasn't thrown one since the at-bat against Cal Elvers. Ultimately ended in a hit. He's been replaced by Nicholas Stringer as a pinch runner. Stringer with a big lead at second base. Moderate-sized lead over at first for Colin Shepard. He just worked a walk, and here is the second pitch to Parker Massman, the center fielder. That one in the same exact spot, too far upstairs. Fastball not coming close to the plate for Nate Thomas. He's been so good with his control so far in this outing until the last 2 batters. Last 6 pitches he has thrown, however, have been outside of the strike zone. He'll look to get back to normal here. Here's the 2-0 to Massman. Upstairs again, 3-0 for the second straight batter, and he's in jeopardy of walking Massman. Massman worked the walk, never even thought about swinging at that one as the 87-mile-an-hour fastball was up around his eyes. Never took the bat off his shoulder as Miami chalks the bases full. Massman down to first base with a walk. The second consecutive one for Nate Thomas, and it looks like this time they'll have another mound visit, and he will be replaced. We'll have a new NIU pitcher when we come back. You're listening to Red Hawk Radio. Miami currently trailing 11-0. The lefty Ty Jandrowski will come on to face the left-handed hitting McKay Williams for Miami. The NKU reliever on the year. This will be his 9th appearance. 5 of them have been starts. He sports a 7.06 earned run average and has 3 losses. Those are all of his decisions thus far. 21 innings pitched. Giving up 17 earned runs, and the first pitch McKay Williams sees, he lines into the right center field gap. That brings around 1. Miami finally on the scoreboard. Colin Shepard will hold up. Parker Maston will hold up at third base, but Colin Shepard coming around to score the first Miami run. Nick Stringer coming along with him. Miami 2 on the board now, trailing 11-2 after the 2-run single by McKay Williams. Didn't take long for McKay Williams to jump all over Jandrowski's first pitch. Charlie Harrigan, another lefty, coming to the plate now. He has not had a hit. McKay Williams, 3 hits in this ballgame to lead Miami. Playing the lefty versus lefty game didn't work out for NIU against McKay Williams. We'll see if it works against Harrigan. Runners on the corners. There's a strike in there for strike number 2 to Harrigan. Harrigan in a hole with Christian Tejada, the leadoff hitter, waiting on Zach. Lineup will turn over after Harrigan. Jandrowski looking for a double play ball. He might get it as Harrigan fouls one off towards the right side. Weak ground ball like that, as long as it's in fair territory, could be trouble, could be 2 for Miami. KU might be able to turn it. Harrigan staying alive on that last one. He'll face another 0-2 from Jandrowski. He kicks and deals. Breaking ball, Harrigan thought about it, ultimately held up. Third base umpire Wayne Krause confirms that, and count moves to 1-2. Harrigan, 27 RBIs on the year. Sits third on the team for Miami. Could add on a couple more here with a gapper. Next pitch from Jandrowski is upstairs. Evens the count at 2-2. We'll see a 2-2 pitch here to Harrigan. Jandrowski readying on the mound. He'll stare down McKay Williams at first base. McKay dancing off at first base, and the pitch is in the dirt. Blocked by the catcher Dunham. Nothing doing for either runner. Count chock full at 3-2. Payoff pitch looming. Odds are we will see the runner McKay Williams at first base. He'll probably be running on the next pitch. The 3-2. Big swing and a miss from Harrigan. He's retired for out number 1. That's a big out for Jandrowski as he gets one of the lefties he was brought in to retire. He does so and now brings up Christian Tejada. Tejada hits lefties exceptionally well. Like we said, he came into this end of the day hitting everyone well. 3.885 batting average. Almost a 500 on-base percentage, but has been kept off the base paths so far today. Held hitless and hasn't drawn a walk either. The first pitch to him is in there for a strike. You just watched a breaking ball go by off the outside, or on the outside corner, rather. The 0-1, he skies this one towards right field. It'll go over the NIU bullpen and out of play. Quick 0-2 hole for Christian Tejada. The 0-2 pitch. This one's upstairs. Bring the count to 1-2. Tejada not fooled by that one. Jandrowski tried to get him with a fastball up in his eyes. Tejada not offering. Runner still on the corners. McKay Williams at first. Parker Massman at third base. 1-2 from Jandrowski. Here's a breaking ball. Tejada out in front of it. That'll get a run in as Tejada is thrown out at first base, but Parker Massman comes in. McKay Williams on to second, and Miami now with 3 runs in the ballgame. All coming in this inning as NIU now leads 11-3. Productive out for Christian Tejada, probably not what he would have wanted. Looks like unless he gets another at bat today, he will go hitless. Snapping a short hitting streak of just a few games. Currently 0 for 4 on the day as Kyle Winkler steps in. He's 0 for 4 as well. Wind up and the pitch, and the first pitch to Winkler is off the plate away outside. 81-mile-an-hour pitch. Just a little too far off the plate. We're staring back at Jandrowski as Jandrowski checks on the runner at second base. McKay Williams. Here's a breaking ball to Winkler. A little bit too low at 69 miles an hour. That's the slowest pitch we've seen this afternoon. Slowed it all the way down, but Winkler wasn't fooled. Cole Andrews, the batter, pinch hitter for Winkler. He's probably the catcher we will see replace Cal Elvers. Andrews takes a big cut at that one and comes up with a foul ball to the right side out of play. 2-1 the count now. Andrews hitting .324 on the year, 1 home run, 22 knocked in. 3 home runs, 23 knocked in for the freshman. Having a pretty good freshman year. We typically see him in the designated hitter role in these weekend series. He comes on to face the left-hander Jandrowski, and he skies this one to deep left field. Left fielder backpedaling, and he'll take care of it for out number 3. So Miami finally scratches across a couple runs. They get 3 now with 7 hits in the ball game, but they still trail 11-3. We'll be right back on Red Hawk Radio for the final inning. We've got a new Red Hawk pitcher as Miami starts the top of the 9th inning down 11-3. Logan Schmidt will come on. The right-hander, this will be his 4th appearance. He's got a 13.50 earned run average in just 2 innings pitched. We'll work mark into his third here. The first batter he faces will be Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez takes the ball high, 87 miles per hour on the fastball there. We've also got a couple of defensive changes for the RedHawks. Nate Stoles taking over for Kyle Elvers behind the plate. Elvers, after reaching base in the previous inning, was replaced with a pinch runner, Nick Stringer. He's also exited the ball game in favor of Nate Stoles. Stephen Hamer has taken over in right field for McKay Williams. Williams, the offensive star of the day for Miami. 3 hits and 4 at-bats. 2 of the 3 runs Miami has been driven in by Williams, as well as Schmidt cannot find the zone versus Rodriguez. 3-0 the count now.
Because I waved and I wasn't wearing my uniform because I wasn't working. And I was wondering if you knew what
Schmidt, the 5th Miami pitcher we've seen.
Thank you.
And he walks Rodriguez, a 4-pitch walk issued. He's in mop-up duty today. Jack Corbell was the first one we saw. He was the starter who went 6 innings through 100 pitches. Not a bad outing for him. 2 runs given up. Then Tyler Bosma came on for 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 3 runs. Colganetz came in for an entire inning. He gave up 6 runs, although none of them earned. John Myring came on to get the last out of the final inning. And Logan Schmidt now on for the RedHawks. He faces Patty McCormick. The first pitch to him is in there for a called strike. McCormick 1 for 3 on the day. Raised his batting average. Came into the day hitting under 100. He's now up to .83 as he skies this one towards left. That'll be taken care of by McKay Williams. McKay Williams moving from right to left. Kyle Winkler being replaced by Hamer in right field. Back to the top of the order for the Northern Illinois Huskies, Tommy Shosny coming up. He scored 2 runs after being walked twice, but has been held without a hit in his 3 official at-bats today. The lefty versus the righty Schmidt. First pitch is in there for a called strike, 80 miles an hour on the gun. Painting the black of the outside corner there. Rodriguez down at first base, taking a big lead. Harrigan holding him on. The rest of the defensive linemen for the RedHawks set as usual. Schmidt, the windup and the pitch. This one gets away from him a little bit. Stoles has to slide over to block that 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball. He's able to do it. Count evens at 1-1. Schmidt, not typically a guy we see out of the RedHawks pen, as he delivers to Shasney, who fouls it off into the netting behind home plate for strike 2. Seen a couple of the typical characters like a Colganetz, like a Tyler Bosma, and like John Myring, but Schmidt just one of those guys being trusted to finish out this game. Probably a lost cause for the RedHawks. Only 1 at-bat left, unless they're able to score 8 runs in the next inning. Just send it to extras and tie it up. Shosny strikes out on a breaking ball there from Logan Schmidt. Good pitch there for out number 2. Brendan Joyce will be the batter. He's 1 for 4 on the day, and he's walked. Came around to score a run. One of many Huskies to do that, as they've thrown up 11 on the board. First pitch to him, he swings right through it, 81 miles an hour. No substitutions for the Northern Illinois Huskies yet, even with the result seemingly in hand. Jake Dunham, the catcher, on the on-deck circle. This one is hit towards the shortstop deep in the hole. Shepard's going to try to make a play on it. Nevertheless, Brendan Joyce will beat it out. He's booking it down the line, and he'll be safe. That's a tough play for Shepard. The ball was hit deep in the gap between short and third. Jordan Stevens unable to cut it off before it went into that gap. Shepard with the backhand falling away throw. Not in time. Not a bad throw from Shepard, but he was just unable to get him. Here's Dunham, who sits at 1 for 4 on the day. He's driven in 3. That leads the Huskies. 2 outs in the inning. He could be the final Husky hitter of the game if Schmidt is able to retire him. Runners on first and second. First pitch Dunham sees is off the plate outside. Wind up and the pitch. That one is another one off the plate away. 81 miles on the radar gun that time. Dunham sending him almost straight up, waves the bat a couple of times. So now crouch down a little bit and get ready to receive the 2-0 from Logan Schmidt. That one misses again. He's down and outside. 3-0 the count now. Not much you can say about this one for the RedHawks. By 8 runs and possibly more if Logan Schmidt is not able to get Jake Dunham out. Only 1 frame left to do it in regular regulation 9-inning baseball. We're sitting in the top of the 9th. This game is about 3.5 hours long as Dunham draws a walk. Schmidt loading the bases now to face the 4-hole hitter Nick Drobasevich. Drobasevich 2 for 4 on the day, 1 for 4, but has scored 2 runs and driven in 2 more. He's also walked. We saw him out in right field for the first 2 games of this series at designated hitter today, getting a day off. He misplayed a couple balls down in that right field corner during the first 2 games of this series. Cam Smith out there today having no trouble, and now he singles into right field. That'll bring home another run. Here comes the second runner. The throw to the plate will be cut off, and that run will get in. So 2 more up on the board for NIU. They take a 13-3 lead, boost their lead back up to double digits. As Cam Smith, the 5-hole hitter, will come to the plate. Cam 2 for 4 on the day with an RBI. He's also drawn a walk, been one of the more productive Huskies on the day. He really was the spark plug behind this offensive output. He scored the first run and then drove in the second. That was all the way back in the 2nd and 3rd inning, respectively. He ropes this one towards second base. Landon Stevens will take it to the bag himself and retire the side. Once again, NIU able to score 2 more. They lead 13-0. We'll be right back for the final frame, what's seemingly the final half inning on Red Hawk Radio. We're back to close this one out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Miami trailing 13-0 here on this series finale. Rubber match of the series currently tied. Looks like NIU will take this one. If everything holds up, it'll be a miraculous comeback for Miami. Ty Jandrowski still on the mound for the Huskies. Landon Stevens, the 3-hole hitter for Miami at the plate. Been an all right day for Landon, 2 for 3 on the afternoon. He looks at a ball inside on the first pitch. Second pitch is grounded towards the shortstop. He'll throw into Larson at first base, and That's the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Jordan Stevens, cleanup hitter for Miami. He's also 2 for 4 on the day, has also walked. Not much you can say in terms of Miami's offensive output. For the second consecutive game, they've only been able to put 3 runs on the board, and they've all come in the same inning. First pitch Stevens sees, he just watches go by. In there for a called strike. Jandrowski kicks and deals. Stevens takes a hearty cut at that one. 69-mile-an-hour breaking ball. He comes up empty. Quickly down 0-2 with 1 out. Nate Stoles will be the next batter. He's waiting on the on-deck circle. After entering in the last half inning, it'll be his first at-bat of the game. Here's the 0-2 to Stevens. That one's off the plate away for a ball. 81 miles an hour from Jandrowski that time.
69 to 81. Wow.
Changing speeds a little bit there as he came with the fastball after slowing it down all the way to 69 miles an hour on the breaking ball. There he slows it back down for the strikeout. So Stevens swings right over the top of a 71-mile-an-hour breaking ball. That's out number 2, and the RedHawks are now down to their final out. So as previously mentioned, Nate Stoles will come on. This is his 20th game. He's made 16 starts on the year. He hits .291. No home runs, 5 knocked in for the first-year Miamian. First pitch to him. He's first pitch swinging. He swings on that one. Grounds it back up the middle. Second baseman behind the bag will take care of it for the final out, and this one's over. It was another ugly one for Miami, the second straight. They lose 13-3 after a 6-3 loss yesterday. NIU puts up 13 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Miami 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. Second consecutive day also with 3 errors. Sloppy baseball and not enough offensive output for Miami. They lose their second consecutive series and for whatever reason have entered a drought when they're not supposed to be. This is not the time you want to play bad baseball when you're less than a month away from the conference tournament. Miami's season goal is obviously to win that. They've been saying it all year. Not much you can say about this one other than it just wasn't the RedHawks night. They'll be back on Tuesday against Ohio State University. We will not have the call on that one, but follow along online. I'm Chris Vinel signing off. Miami with another tough loss today, 13-3. We'll see you next time on Red Hawk Radio.